Well, good morning, everybody. It's your boy Big Ghost Rider here, man. Legal Wars Live. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's like a postcard, man. I'm on the journey of justice, man. Been on this journey for about 7, 8 months now, since July 15th, all over America, up here in the Hudson Valley, New York City metro area, man. You know what I'm saying? Every single day. You can't really see the mountains behind me because it's foggy over the Hudson River, man. You know what I'm saying? But these days, man, I will remember these days for the rest of my life, man. It's like a journey of justice, man. Cruising with Ghost Rider. Bringing y'all live content, man. Things that matter in our world. Good morning, good morning. Things that matter in our world, man. Right here from this BMW, man. You know what I'm saying? So today, guys, in the middle of March. Good morning, Montana. If you guys haven't liked the video, please double tap the screen for me. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. So, guys, this morning in the middle of March, you know what I'm saying? Bringing y'all live, authentic content out here in the Hudson Valley in New York. You know what I'm saying? Another day, man. On this journey of justice that I've been on, man. Another day, another dollar. You know? I know people say, like, they come on trying to listen to the news and they want to be entertained. So you got to understand, and I understand, y'all, excuse me. Legacy media, you know what I'm saying? It's raining outside. It was raining outside. Legacy media, they make money off of giving people the news. So it's within their interest to entertain people. But I'm not here to entertain you guys. I'm here to tell you about this war. We're here to talk about this war that's going on in Iraq. That's on day 14, where we spent about 15 billion, where we lost about 13 soldiers, where gas up here in Hudson Valley, like I said, about 30 miles north of Lower Manhattan, is 70 cents higher. You see what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about today, the stock market. Trillions of dollars in wealth lost. That's what we're talking about, the cost of war. Next up is the Strait of Terror. You say, Ghost, why you say the Strait of Terror? Because that's exactly what it is. What the United States is attempting to do now, guys, and we're going to talk about it in a second, but I'm going to try to explain it a little bit. Okay? So we talked about the Strait of Hormuz today, you know, specifically. So what the United States is attempting to do is, in this strait, I wish I had a picture. It's almost like a snake. It's like a winding river almost, okay? It goes along the southern coast of Iran. Within this strait is all the Gulf nations, all that money, all that oil. You see what I'm saying? Coming from the Middle East. Y'all know Saudi Arabia, yeah, a lot of their oil is being put onto the shippers, the tankers. You know what I'm saying? And being brought to the rest of the world. Most of it's going to Asia. You know what I'm saying? China, South Korea, other Asia, Japan, Asian nations. But some of it's coming to America, okay? Now, listen, Iran has basically took control of that strait, which controls 20%, over 20% of the world market in oil. It's a world market. So that means that's affecting gas prices worldwide. So the United States, with a new objective, this was not one of the original military objectives. As far as the original military objectives that the United States set for, and we'll go over that in just a second, they have accomplished and achieved every military objective that they originally went into Iran. They've accomplished it. That's why I said it's time to go at the end of week 3. Past Saturday, I don't know, I can't really support President Trump in this war at all. And that's just truthful, because it's time to go. This is where the quagmire, you get bogged down in an endless war. But I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole. I'm going to stay on the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the U.S. goal is to try to go in there and to try to secure that strait. I'm talking about, it's like Mission Impossible. You're going to go in there and secure the strait. Yeah, Ghost, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so Iran has sea mines. America blew up the sea mine boats, the mine land boats. But I'm saying Iran could take any kind of boat into the water and I'm sure America's watching. But I'm saying, what about the mines they already laid? Oh, Ghost, don't worry about that. Ghost, don't worry about that. We have divers. You know what I'm saying? This is the U.S. Navy, the greatest Navy in the world. We have divers. We'll go down and find the mines. Okay, so you're going to go find all the mines. How dangerous that endeavor is. So let's say, I'm saying, what about, you going off the coast of Iran, and it's a pretty skinny strait. It's not like you could be 200 miles away. You within striking distance, right from the coast of their shores. Oh, Ghost, don't worry about it. We're going to bomb all the beaches. We bombing the coastline. You're going to bomb the coastline. Because I'm saying America has severely. Well, listen, I don't think it's propaganda when they said they destroyed 100% of their Navy. That means that the military had however number, let's just 2,600 Navy targets. And those 2,600 Navy targets, they'll say, hey, okay, this is 97.8% of Iran's Navy. What I'm saying, they hit all those targets. So that's why they could say they completed 100% of their military objective, because from the air, that's all they could do. You see what I'm saying? So they layered the infrastructure. I'm saying I'm not going into that, but I'm just saying they've completed 100% of their military targets. That's when you know it's time to go. I'm saying just like you came back 8 months ago, because you might have to go. I'm sure you didn't listen to go. Like I'm trying to tell you, it's time to go. But let's get back to the Strait of Hormuz. Now, what America's trying to do is saying that they're going to escort ships safely through the Strait of Hormuz. If they're able to do that, what that'll do is with the gas prices, that'll make gas prices come down. You see what I'm saying? Open up the world trade with oil. Because I'm saying that choke point, Iran controlling that strait, I'm just being real. In my opinion, for them being the weaker and lesser nation in America, that's really the most they could do. But that's a major power point. That's a major pain point. It's like Iran can almost dictate what the price of gas is going to be. And I'm saying, even though America, and I don't think it's propaganda, like I'm saying again, even though America probably might have, I believe they did destroy every military target objective that they named, Iran yesterday launched the second highest amount of missiles and rockets and drones into Israel yesterday. That's what I'm saying. So even though you're degrading their military, their shooting capabilities significantly, they're still shooting at you. Even though you're degrading their military almost completely, objectively from the air, they're still firing at you. Even if you go in on the beach and you bomb the beach line, they could shoot a drone or a missile from you from Tehran. I don't think you can make that straight safe. I'm saying, who's going to take a chance? Yeah, you got a military, you know what I'm saying? You getting escorted by a U.S. Navy ship. But I'm saying they fly that drone. I'm saying you just going to have to, that drone, if they don't shoot that drone down, or them drones down, or them missiles down, Iran could get lucky. It's a dangerous endeavor still. I'm saying, if you go in there, you bomb the beaches, you get everything cleared out, you get the Marines to say that everything's safe, ain't nobody or nothing with no weapons within a 250-mile kilometer, whatever, radius. I'm saying you still have to actively, that's like the Strait of Terror. You still gotta listen, the military still gotta escort the ships down that strait. And it's right off the coast of Iran. They could be in Tehran, waiting on you. Russia's helping them, giving them the coordinates. You don't think they got a plan? I'm saying you completely destroy their military, and they launched the second amount more rockets and missiles than you throughout the whole war. Starting the third week of the war, the very last week, I could semi-support the president's decision to not only declare war on Iran, but to remain. That's the problem, to remain. Because after Saturday, President Trump, I don't understand the actions in Iran moving forward. This is so important. The U.S. has claimed by way of President Trump to have destroyed the Navy, the Air Force, the missiles, and a percentage of the drones, and the Iranians have just sent the largest or second largest attack on the Israelis since the war began. Guys, we've seen this picture before. You set up a whole different government in Afghanistan, a whole different government in Iraq, and they were shooting bullets at you to the very last day you there. That's why it's time to go. I'm not just saying it's time to go because I'm opposing you or against you or I don't like you. I'm independent. I don't have nothing against President Trump. I personally like him. I like Secretary Hegseth. The Iranians are not out of missiles. They're not out of drones, and they're nowhere out of this fight. That's just the facts. Guys, listen, my source is CBS. It was published on March the 15th. It's an audio, and I'm finna play it for you guys real quick, like, if you guys give me just a second. I appreciate you guys' patience. Guys, this fight is far from over. And I understand President Trump and wanting to take the Strait of Hormuz, but that wasn't an original military objective. That's what I'm saying. The original military objectives, you have achieved them. So when you guys come out there and hear him say that I won, that's what he means. Those 4 original military objectives, that's what he means by he won, but you like, Ghost, he's still there. They still trying to fight. Yeah, because he's coming up with new stuff. I'm not saying it's not important to control the Strait of Hormuz, but I'm saying because I'm saying if you want them ships to navigate safely through that Strait of Terror, you know how you got to do? You got to put your guns down. You got to stop dropping bombs. Once the bullets and the guns stop, then me owning oil or being a merchant owning the ship, I could feel safe to send my employees through that strait. Before that war started, before America and Israel bombed Iran, did anybody have a problem going through that strait? Hundreds of millions of barrels of oil moving weekly with no problems and no issues for decades. When you drop a bomb on Iran, common sense ain't that common. Then now you got a problem in the strait. So I'm saying the safest way to move oil through that strait is to retract the bombs, retract the bullets. I don't care what Iran's saying. I'm saying the Gulf states are there, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, they could put Turkey, they could put pressure on Iran to do the same. Putin will too. You make the first gesture, but you want to control the strait. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with controlling the strait. I'm saying you've been there too long. And the gas prices, they probably stopped about at 70 cents up here. I don't see them raising every day when I go to put, but I'm saying like what you are trying to do is very dangerous, very dangerous. What's the cause? The value. You could go with the gun and try to control the straits and pay a cost, billions, and probably American blood and hardware, or you could put the guns down. And I'm saying you're going to be able, that's the safest the strait's going to be. Let me play this audio, CBS News, y'all.
3 of the war underway, certainly no evidence here that Iran is running low on firepower, launching one of the heaviest waves of missile strikes in a 24-hour period since fighting began. In the early hours, air raid sirens rang out across Tel Aviv, a familiar sound but with a frequency and intensity we haven't seen for days, with multiple waves aimed across Israel. Some getting through one of the most advanced air defenses in the world. Despite 2 weeks of relentless airstrikes, Iran has withstood the might of U.S. and Israeli firepower. Speaking on Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan, Iran's foreign minister dismissed President Trump's statement that Iran wants a ceasefire deal.
No, we never asked for a ceasefire, and we have never asked even for negotiation. We are ready to defend ourselves as long as it takes.
The front line of that fight right now, the Strait of Hormuz, a strategic but narrow waterway off the coast of Iran through which 20% of the world's oil and gas is shipped. The presence of 2 U.S. aircraft carriers, a dozen or more destroyers, and hundreds of combat aircraft have failed to break Iran's chokehold on that key transit route. Even after punishing U.S. airstrikes on military assets on Karg Island, an economic lifeline that manages roughly 90% of Iran's crude exports. And now, the deployment of thousands more U.S. troops, including roughly 2,200 Marines, specifically trained and equipped for the kind of fighting on sea and land that can't be done from 30,000 feet. At the Strait's narrowest point, shipping lanes in either direction are barely 2 miles wide. Jerika, that makes it easier for Iran to lay mines and target slow-moving cargo ships with missiles and drones.
Y'all hear that? I'm saying, is that the way that you would attempt to allow ships to move peacefully through the strait? I'm saying, because you listen to that, that's a nightmare scenario for a military scenario. They said at the narrowest point, it's 2 miles. It's right off the coast of Iran. I'm saying, y'all heard how it started, where they said Israel yesterday got the second hardest day of bombardment. This is after you have achieved all of your military objectives. You know what that tells me? The missiles, I don't care how many missiles in Iran you destroy, they're not going to stop firing. I'm not going to be a conspiracy theorist, but I know that Russia gives them drones. So I'm saying, if you destroyed 100% of their drones, they still going to get some more drones, and they still going to get more missiles in. They still going to keep fighting. Not only do I know that about this situation right here, I'm saying, look at the past examples. Iraq was not Iran. They didn't have the money Iran is. They're not as big as a nation is. That's like historically like a powerful nation in the history of mankind, a Persian Empire. Am I wrong? All my history people that I know being here. So I'm saying, like, and then when you fought Afghanistan, Afghanistan is not Iran. It's not that big. It's not that difficult. That's why President Obama, he said, "Nah, I'm not going to commit political suicide." Excuse me. When I leave the White House, I want my approval ratings to be in the 60s. So, but President Trump, he's like on a kamikaze mission. Like, he got to go solve all the world's problems, bro. You understand, bro? This stuff ain't this ain't no walk in the park. But you showed success in Venezuela, which isn't a walk in the park either, but it's a lot easier than Iran. But I'm saying, use the same strategy. Complete the military objectives. If you got to go back, go back. Some people say, Ghost, no, you're going to end up with troops on the ground. I'm saying, if it's going to end up happening, it's going to end up happening. But President Trump is going to destroy you politically. Destruction. And I'm saying, to me, like, the Strait of Hormuz is that point to where you decide, are we going to go all the way, head, shoulders, feet, determined into this war? Or am I going to declare victory, week 3, severely have weakened the Iranians to be able to project power beyond their own borders, declare victory, and stop spending $1 billion plus a day and putting American troops there. And I'm saying you're going to open up the shipping lanes when you stop shooting missiles. After thousands of bombs over 14 days, saying you have degraded the Iranian army at no time would I believe that you can make it safe enough by bombing the shore when they will simply hide in the mountains till you're close, and they could probably launch the drones from Tehran and the missiles from dang near Lebanon. Anyway, they don't have to be on the shore, so understanding that, this will be a very dangerous mission that I'm not sure if they'll be able to pull it off. Very dangerous. Getting deeper and deeper into the war. I'm saying we've seen this in Afghanistan. They using guerrilla tactics. They're not going to try to stand up and fight the American soldier. Man, they know that's suicide. They're using guerrilla tactics. That's their country. That's their mountains. And then you understanding the technology, the drone could come from Tehran. They can launch that drone from anywhere. The mountains, bro, you see, and you right there in that little narrow strait, you heard them say, at the narrowest point is 2 miles. That's your pick-off point. The shipping line, you only got 2 miles to navigate. Bro, that precision, bro, them drones and them rockets, bro, I'll be praying you come through that strait, boy, because I'm telling you, I hear one American battleship. I kill one American. It's the Strait of Terror. One American battleship. You see what I'm saying? I sink a ship, a tanker with an escort. Because President Trump, he asking for help. I'm saying, first of all, he asked the Chinese for help. I don't understand that. What? That's big communist China. That's their ally. It's like President Trump asking, how I'ma say this? If Russia attack Ukraine, he asked us to help him attack Ukraine. What? So he asking China to come help send ships out here. China saying we ain't having no problem getting oil. Oh, y'all don't know that? Or y'all listen to that propaganda. Y'all start listening to that propaganda and y'all start watching a little Al Jazeera. You know what I'm saying? Because they out here, they got boots on the ground in the Middle East and in Europe. Al Jazeera, listen to a little bit of what they saying. Because what they saying, China ain't never had no problem this entire time getting no oil. They made a cut down on the shipments, but necessary or requested shipments from Iran, because you finna hear the Iran prime minister say that the strait ain't closed. It ain't never been closed. It's only closed to America and Israel's allies. And see, President Trump, he don't like that. The military don't like that. It kind of make it look like Iran is winning and has control. They're able to, if Iran can control the oil market, how can you say America's winning this war? You didn't destroy everything in the world. And I'm saying they trying to make our gas be $5 a gallon, ours. And I'm saying we don't really even get oil from imagine what's going on over there and not necessarily China, but in some of those other nations who depend 100% or 90% on Gulf oil. They probably having oil shortages. Their gas probably like $12-15 a gallon. You see what I'm saying? It's utter chaos, and Iran is dictating this. Not saying they're winning the war, but we already know, man. Already know. This next audio I'm playing for y'all is coming from the Wall Street Journal. It's going to be about 3 minutes, so y'all bear with me.
The gospel of Jesus Christ.
But I'm saying it helps me
Iran has spent years.
I'm sorry. It helps me narrate the story for you guys, because I'm saying I'm sitting here consuming this content, and from consuming this content, I'm getting a story. It might not be the story you see on the internet or legacy media, but I'm getting the accurate story of this war. You guys know I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. I like President Trump. He said personally, But I'm going to call it how I call it because I love my country more than any of that. You see what I'm saying? I love my country and I want what's best for America. Excuse me. I believe America could severely degrade in power and its ranking on the world stage going into this terroristic, destructive. I mean, it's like President Trump then reached down in the pits of hell. This is the precipice. This is the threshold of the devil's empire on this earth, the Strait of Terror. I'm talking about destruction. You think ISIS bad? I guarantee you, it's like, listen, I'm trying to think of how I could say this. You know how President Trump tried to put his name on everything, not hating on him, but he put his name on everything. That's what he do. He a businessman. Trump. I'm saying that's how Iran is. They try to put the terror, they try to put their name on everything terror coming from the Middle East. Run and control everything terror. I'm not saying that all of the terror comes from Iran, but I'm saying they the kings of terror. You see what I'm saying? Y'all listen to this. This is about the Strait of Hormuz, the next military objective that President Trump has decided to engage in, that unfortunately I just can't support it because I think it's way too risky. Good morning, y'all. If y'all haven't liked the video, y'all please like the video. Good morning, Smile. Good morning.
Holding hostage. The Strait of Hormuz is the choke point leading into and out of the Persian Gulf and is bordered by Iran's coastline.
And as the world is seeing, they are exercising sheer desperation in the Straits of Hormuz.
Even though Iran doesn't have jurisdiction over the strait, it has long threatened to use force to shut it down. Before the war, Iran had stockpiled sea mines that it could lay across the strait, dispersed coastal defense cruise missiles that could be fired at ships from the shore, created a fleet of small boats known to swarm and threaten vessels, and deployed submarines to lurk in strategic waterways. Iran also built an arsenal of drones, which it has used to attack civilian targets and ships. That's a key reason why the U.S. has been so focused on sinking Iran's navy and destroying Iran's weapons.
And this means going after Iran's mine-laying capability and destroying their ability to attack commercial vessels.
I don't know if they're finna say this right now, but I'm going to tell you why it's still so dangerous, because you could destroy all their ships, just like you can hit all of the targets. Listen, Iran had built elaborate. That's why the people in the streets protesting, because they're not spending money on their economic. Just like at home, we saying President Trump cutting TANF or food stamps, and he cutting Medicaid, and he cutting stuff and giving money to the rich. Well, in Iran, their problem is they cutting and they ain't giving money to the people, and they using it on weapons. So they got this large underground missile facilities with elevators and stuff. I wish I could play the videos. I can't wait till I start screen sharing. Excuse me. I'm a paralegal. I get a lot of content, man, some great content. And man, I'm saying, so President Trump and them, the military, they didn't hit the entrance ways. So all these thousands of missiles underground, you can't get to them. Iran can't get to them. They ain't got no missiles. They stockpiles. We didn't hit their stockpiles. That's a military objective. You achieved it. It's going to take them some time after the bomb stopped, the Israeli and American jets stopped flying sorties before they could get to it, dig it out. You achieved a temporary objectives, military objectives. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying, meanwhile, you don't understand. You got to, from understanding that, you got to understand what you dealing with. You got to let history guide you. Common sense ain't that common. In Afghanistan, you didn't only achieve military objectives. You didn't only snatch the control out of the hands of the Taliban, had them on the run, had them negotiating with you. You was completely puppeteering and controlling everything that happened in Afghanistan. You set up a fake artificial government. You did all of the above, and in 20 years, how did it turn out? So even though you got to understand what you're dealing with, that's what you're dealing with. And Iran is bigger country. They have more money, and their military is just worse than what it was in Iraq too, and what it is in Afghanistan is going to be worse and worse and worse and worse. And that's not how you get this done. You're gonna have to get it done with diplomacy. President Trump, you're supposed to be the art of the deal now. We need more diplomacy than that. Because I'm saying, President Trump, you tore up. Listen to this now. President Trump, he was talking about how Obama was going to end up going to war with Iran, but he made a deal with Iran. I bet Obama made a deal with Iran. President Trump, was it the best deal? I'm not a Democrat. I'm going to tell you no. That deal that Obama made with Iran wasn't the best deal, but the thing about the deal for 10 years, there was no, Obama didn't go. He stopped them from having a bomb for 10 years. I don't care. You could say he gave them money, he did this, he did that. It don't matter. He stopped them from having a bomb for 10 years, and he did it with no guns. He stopped them from having common sense. Ain't that common? He stopped them from having a bomb for 10 years, and he did it with no guns, no bloodshed, no price of oil spiking, no this, no that. Because if I could stop them from having a bomb without dropping bombs, then my stock market should be at 60,000. I'm saying that the price of oil should have went down to $2.15 a gallon. That's how you get the golden age, man. President Trump, he didn't go hard for diplomacy. He didn't go as hard for diplomacy as he should have went. And that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry if President Obama's deal wasn't the best, but it stopped the bloodshed. It semi-controlled Iran. It gave America ability to be able to have boots on the ground in Iran with no Iran agreeing to let them come check. I'm saying, come on. You got to do something better with diplomacy. If you saying that President Obama's deal was bad, where your deal at? You can't get a deal. Your deal is dropping bombs. You done dropped enough bombs to get them to the table to be able to negotiate a deal out of them. You spent enough money. You had enough Americans die, man. We paying too much money for gas, and you promised us that we wouldn't. You promised us you wouldn't fight these wars. President Trump, it's time to end this war, baby. It's time to end this war, baby.
Mine lane capability and destroying their ability to attack commercial vessels.
But so far, Iran has still been able to mount attacks. And experts say that even just the possibility that Iran has laid mines in the strait is enough to scare ships from crossing it. The U.S. is working on a plan to reopen the strait, and the Pentagon is moving additional Marines and warships to the Middle East that could potentially help with such an effort. But some officials say that can't happen until the shooting stops.
As soon as it is militarily possible, the U.S. Navy, perhaps with an international coalition, will be escorting vessels through.
So how big of a problem is this? About a quarter of the world's oil comes from countries that border the Persian Gulf, including Iran, and shipped to global markets on tankers, which of course have to pass through the strait. About 80% of that oil goes to Asia, according to the International Energy Agency. Typically, hundreds of ships and more than 100 million barrels of oil a week pass through the strait. But with shipping at a standstill, some Gulf countries like Iraq and Kuwait have cut oil production, sending economic shockwaves around the world. That has caused oil prices to spike and forced the Trump administration to answer questions about the global impact of Operation Epic Fury.
We'll be back on track in a pretty short while. Prices are coming down very substantially. Oil will be coming down.
To try and alleviate the pain, the U.S. and IEA member countries are releasing hundreds of millions of barrels of oil from emergency stocks.
We're going through a short-term disruption, but it's overdue to address this Iranian threat that's festered and grown for 47 years.
But here's the thing. No one knows how long that disruption will last, and Iran has pledged to keep fighting. Tehran is trying to cause as much global pain as it can to both pressure and punish the U.S. and its allies.
The Strait of Terror. I'm saying, where else on the internet you gonna get this content? You go listen to Tucker Carlson, you gonna listen to Tucker Carlson on Legal Wars Live. You listening to CNN, you gonna listen to that on Legal Wars Live. You gonna listen to Fox, CBS. I'm gonna give you all of it straight, the real. The Strait of Terror. You gotta count the cost. What is it costing America to do this? And what will be achieved, the objective? You gotta look at the route President Obama took. Forget the deal. You are the art of the deal. Make a better deal. If you got to walk that talk, you got to show us Ronald Reagan. He did it with no bullets with USSR. That's how you get respect. That's the hardest route. The easiest route is to bully and drop bombs because you got bigger bombs and a bigger military. But what's the cost? It's costing you. Not what a Democrat is saying that it's costing you. Not what fellow Republicans saying that it's costing you, or libertarians. It's costing you your own goals and your own objectives. You don't want to spend money, waste money, dropping bombs on foreign. Well, you cut taxes. But I'm saying you over here spending money, giving the tariff money back. These Gulf countries, who y'all hearing their economies are being affected. They don't want to invest in America now. These Gulf countries are President Trump's allies, but I couldn't say they're best friends with Israel. And I'm saying it's the cost. Strait of Terror, man. We're going to talk about this. This is a new story. I'm bringing y'all new content, but we're going to talk about this as long as we in this war. We need to be in the comments. Republicans, independents, Democrats, one voice. Y'all got to tell me, how is it profitable for America to continue to fight this war? The road of diplomacy is not only an option, it should be the best option moving forward. Make a deal, President Trump. Stop the bombs and make a deal
Regime, of course,
for the love
attacks
of
to stop.
America
It
and
wants
your
its
own
neighbors, which host
goals.
U.S. bases, to kick the U.S. military out of the region. And it also wants compensation for the damage that has been caused by the war.
They really are a nation of terror and hate, and they're paying a big price right now.
President Trump has shown no signs of backing down and says the U.S. military campaign will continue.
I'm saying, what y'all think? It's our country, it's our voice, that's our money that's being spent on them bombs. Not hating on you, President Trump. In my opinion, in my professional opinion, not personal opinion, you can't make those straits safe. In my personal opinion, I say, yeah, I'm ex-military. I support the military. I'm going to support almost any military objective. So if you give me a military objective with the United States military, in my opinion, there's no way Iran, if America wants those ships to get through, I mean, eventually, some kind of way, America's going to make it happen. They got power. But I'm saying, you remember in Afghanistan, that's what I'm saying. Their goal is not to beat you in a fight. It's just to fight you until you leave out. And when you leave out, the goal is to still be shooting bullets at you. Taliban in power, when you come, you put in a fake government, you leave Taliban still in power and they shooting at you as you go. Only thing you did is spend $3 trillion. You lost thousands of people. You killed thousands of people, and you came and showed it looks like an L for America. Same thing happened in Vietnam. Same thing. It's an endless war, man. You got to get this in your mind. You might be bigger than them. You might be stronger than them, but it's an endless war. You got to have the wisdom to be able to see this. I don't believe America can make the strait safe. I believe the Iranians will confront the Americans at the entrance of American intervention. The Iranians will confront the Americans. Where at, Ghost? Where's the spot? Where's the location so we could give it to the CIA, give it to the military? Where's the location that the Iranians will confront the Americans? They will confront the Americans at the entrance of American intervention. There were 4 military objectives to start the war. At the completion of those 4 objectives, the U.S. should have immediately turned to diplomacy. We should be preparing to leave this week, but instead we are ramping up to do something I don't think the Iranians will allow to happen quietly. My next source is CNN, and it was published on March the 15th. It is audio, and so I will play this audio for you guys, man. I'm saying, like, in my opinion, man, the situation is unfortunate. The President Trump's attempts, in my opinion, are very valid. I mean, you're going to hear the questions as you're going to hear people say many different things, but his attempts are valid. I'm not saying his attempts are not valid. I'm just saying, like, I believe that from this point, whether you agree or disagree with what has happened in the first 15 days, I'm talking from this point right here. From this point right here. I think this is where the destruction to his legacy and to him politically, him and the Republican Party began.
Other countries to help secure safe passage of ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Trump specifically called on China, France, the UK, and others to help. Shipping traffic has been at a virtual standstill in the strait, caused gas prices to spike. In a new interview with MS Now, Iran's foreign minister disputed the claim that the strait is closed. CNN correspondent Julia Benbrook has more.
This is a big area of focus right now, as roughly 20% of the world's oil travels through the Strait of Hormuz. And President Donald Trump has posted about this several times over the weekend. I want to pull up part of one of those posts for you now. In it, he said this: many countries, especially those who are affected by Iran's attempted closure of the Hormuz Strait, will be sending warships in conjunction with the United States of America.
So President Trump then talked to some countries that's ready to send some warships. That's what he's saying. He said many countries. He didn't say a couple. He said many. We're going to address that in just a second.
To keep the strait open and safe. We have already destroyed 100% of Iran's military capability, but it's easy for them.
I've destroyed 100% of their military capability. Listen to this is what the President of America is saying. We have destroyed 100% of their military capability, but what?
Send a drone or two, drop a mine, or deliver a close-range missile somewhere along or in this waterway, no matter how badly defeated they are.
But they could still send a drone, drop a mine, or they could still send a missile from somewhere along this waterway, no matter how badly damaged they are. That's what President Trump said. So he said we got them completely militarily defeated, but they could still send. This is what the President of the United States is saying out of his own mouth with his own words. Regardless, is if we got them militarily defeated 100%, they can still send a drone, a missile, drop a mine, a rocket. They could steal. So I'm saying, in my mind, how could you ever make the strait safe? Because if you the president and you saying they could still do all of that, even if you destroy everything militarily, that's telling me that whenever you try to escort them through, that they can still. You bomb the shoreline. Okay, how are you going to go take control of the strait? You're going to drop divers in. You're going to get as many mines as you can see. You're going to bomb the shoreline. You're going to get them Marines. Y'all know how on the movies, this real life, though, you getting the Marines coming out the water, checking the shoreline, repelling out the sky. Okay, so now you sending the ships through. But they can steal. You did all of that, spending them billions, risking American lives. You doing all of this, but they can steal. I destroyed their entire military, Ghost. And I don't think that's propaganda. I don't think they're lying to us, because that's the power of American military and American weaponry. That's the dominance of the United States. America is supremely powerful, more powerful than Iran in a conventional military, but they're not fighting. This is terror. This is a terrorist nation, a terrorist organization, terror, everything. They're experts at this terror. They've been waiting for this. They terror. I'm saying, President Trump, I think it's time to make a deal, man. I'm saying any sort of deal that you make with Iran, you're going to have to spend trillions to help them rebuild what you tore up. I'm saying I hope Israel going to help you spend money. And to address another thing, he asked France, he asked China, he asked the United Kingdom, he asked all these nations to send ships in to help them secure the strait. And we finna get to what those nations, how those nations responded to them. We finna get to it just a second. Let me continue to play this audio. If you hadn't liked the video, y'all double tap the screen for me if you're on a cell phone. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Most importantly, Republicans, independents, and Democrats, is so important to let our voices be heard. This is the most important issue. This isn't something in a vacuum. This war is different because the Strait of Terror, the Strait of Hormuz, is affecting the price of oil that we as Americans are paying daily. It's about to affect the price of everything that petroleum transports in America. Back to the audio, guys.
This waterway, no matter how badly defeated they are. He added that he hopes, emphasis on hopes there, that China, France, South Korea, and the United Kingdom will be sending ships. In the
China, France, the United Kingdom, and South Korea. I'm going to play some audio, and they got answers for President Trump, okay? China, that's already a no. He probably just said China just to make the point that China gets a lot of oil from this area. You see what I'm saying? But the Chinese saying they don't have no beef with Iran. So, you know what I'm saying? We could still get our oil. The Iranians going to let our ships come through, the ones that we really need or want. You see what I'm saying? So we ain't got it ain't our beef. But let's see what South Korea and Japan and the United Kingdom, the response they have for President Trump.
Time, he says that the United States will be bombing the shoreline. Now, in a separate post, he reiterated his calls for other countries to help secure shipping in the passage, adding that he believes this should have been a team effort all along, and now
if it should have been a team effort all along, President Trump, and I'm sorry, I'm going to stop this throughout this one right here, guys, because I only got one more audio to play for you guys, and then I'm going to get down in the comments with you guys. If it should have been a team effort all along, don't you guys think listen, right, wrong, or indifferent, President Bush, and I understand it was under different circumstances because America was attacked in 9/11. So whether you agree with President Bush's decision to go to war directly with Iraq or in Afghanistan, you see what I'm saying? You can understand America was attacked. One thing for certain and two things for sure. President Bush, he went to Senate, he went to Congress, and he got some sort of approval. He got approval before he took any military action in Iraq and or in Afghanistan. And in addition, he had multinational coalitions. He did that before he took the military action. Because what I'm saying, I'm not going to hate on the military objectives because the military objectives were laid clear. The Air Force can only do what they can do with those F-22s, man, from 30,000, 35,000, however many thousand feet. You can only hit so many targets from the air. So those military objectives have been accomplished. If you have a multinational coalition, I think those military objectives are the same. Insert the French Air Force the aircraft carrier. Insert the English aircraft carrier. Split the sorties. The military objectives, regardless of who dropping the bombs, remain the same. What I'm saying is what makes it different. If he would have went in there with a multinational coalition, it would have helped him on the political side of the situation. Because I think the political side is where is what's gonna hurt him. That's what's gonna get him, is that political side. Because this is politically for him, this is dangerous. For the Republican Party in an election year, this is dangerous. In my opinion, those wars that President Bush and the Republicans, he had bipartisan, even though he had bipartisan, you think if President Trump got a vote to go to war with Iran, you think he's going to get bipartisan support for you? No, he's not going to. A lot of Republicans wouldn't support it. Rand Paul, the libertarians, they're not going to be for that war. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying, but President Bush, he got bipartisan support. Even though he got bipartisan support, he had a multinational coalition. It helped him get reelected. It helped him politically, though, when he included those other nations. President Trump, I don't think the political objectives, the political part of this situation, you got to separate the politics from what the military is actually doing and accomplishing on the ground. It's like the politics is like what they want to have accomplished or what they envision to have accomplished, and the military objectives is what they actually can do, and the targets that they can hit is two totally separate things. In the politics, you have domestically, you have our gas prices are higher. You have the stock market going down and down and down, red and red and red. You see what I'm saying? You have the price of goods, the affordability crisis. You have America, whose economy wasn't all the way on the right track anyway. 92,000 jobs lost. You see what I'm saying? You have America going through, and then in the middle, you creating a war, you create more chaos, you create more drama. You see what I'm saying? It's just politically for President Trump, it's just a nightmare. For the Republicans politically, it's the Strait of Terror, man.
All along, and now it will be. He said the United States will be helping with coordination to ensure that this is done quickly, smoothly, and well. And this comes as Americans are feeling a direct impact here, as there is a surge in gas prices. And while Trump has said he is confident those will eventually go down, this could be an attempt to ease some of those growing concerns. Iran's foreign minister has denied claims.
It's an attempt. The Strait of Hormuz, it's an attempt to ease gas prices. I think it's going to do the exact opposite. Y'all, the images of an American battleship getting hit by a drone, or the images of a tanker that's escorted by an American battleship getting hit by a rocket or a missile, those are images of victory, terror. It don't take much to create a whole lot of terror and uncertainty. That's what I'm saying. I don't see how you're going to secure the strait, because if a random drone launched from anywhere, I'm saying the Iranians,
that the strait is completely closed, instead saying that they are blocking vessels with ties to the United States and Israel.
Unleash your ambitions this summer at one of Quinnipiac
he
University's
said the strait's not completely
programs.
closed. They're blocking.
Are blocking vessels with ties to the United States and Israel.
That's only
A
close
week
to
ago,
them.
President Trump told Keir Starmer that he didn't need help from the British, especially coming in after the U.S., in his words, had already won. Fast forward to this weekend where he's asking for help from China, France, Japan, South Korea, the UK, others as well to continue passage through the Strait of Hormuz. Frame the reality that is confronting the president at this stage of the war.
Now, I disagree a little bit with the framing of that question because I don't think the United States actually has to have help to be able to go try to achieve whatever mission or goal it has in the Strait of Hormuz. I think the United States could do this without the Chinese, the Japanese, the South Koreans, and such and so forth. But what I'm saying is, I think it's very wise for President Trump to ask for help so you don't have to put all your resources at risk and on the line when you're really doing this really as a favor to help these other nations. Because we're not really getting the oil. It's not really affecting it. That's why we worried about why are we over here doing this. You getting paid by somebody? You getting paid by the oil executives? Gasoline going high. They're making trillions, millions. They're over in Venezuela getting oil out the ground, trillions, millions. You're trying to get trillions, millions, billions, quillions. I'm saying what's really going on because it don't make no sense. You hurt yourself politically. And Ghost is strategist politically. It's politically. You killing yourself politically. I'm not understanding the value you're getting out of this for the United States of America, the American taxpayers. Yeah, South Korea, this is their problem. President Trump noticed. Yeah, China, this is their problem. China's saying we still getting our oil. It's not our problem. Okay, well, who else on the list? This is your problem. But y'all finna see in a second what they told President Trump, the United Kingdom. And it is true to unite President Trump. I wouldn't have said it like he said it because I understand at the time, and I think this guy behind him finna say it. Let me play this so he can understand it. Because the question is President Trump said to the United Kingdom Starmer, you know, how he does it. We don't need your help. We already won. What President Trump is saying is he's already accomplished those military objectives. He's not explaining himself. It's confusing. I'm trying to break it down for you. When he's saying America's winning or America is won in Iran, President Trump means that America has accomplished the military objectives. Yes, you won that. You accomplished that. But what he's saying is now you asking UK for help. That's what this guy on CNN is saying. You asking the United Kingdom for help to help you in the Strait of Hormuz because you ain't supposed to be doing that. That's the problem. But he criticized, and you know, Ghost, I've said before, when you go to put a tariff, when you threaten Denmark for Norway, or Greenland, excuse me, you threaten Denmark for Norway. When you threaten Norway or Denmark for Greenland, and I'm saying you threaten Canada, excuse me, you picking on Canada, you bullying Canada, you're picking on Starmer. You're picking on Spain. I'm saying these are your allies. That's why you don't put tariffs on your allies, on the whole world. That's why you don't do that. That's why you don't pick fights with your friends, because of situations like this. If you go back there and you listen to the live streams over the whole year and a half that Legal Wars Live been doing the content, when we talk about the tariffs and putting, you know what I'm saying, tariffs on your allies and your friends, and the difference between putting tariffs on your enemies and on your friends, this is why you don't try to tax your friends. This is why you don't talk down to your friends. This is why you don't bully your friends. Because when you say, hey, Canada, send some ships, your friends, they ain't finna help you. You want to be friends with Russia. Putin can't help you. He can't send no ships. You want to be friends with Xi. You know Xi can't help you. You don't want to send no ships. He taking meetings with last president last term with Kim Jong-un. Can't send you no ships, my dude. That's what I'm saying. But if you cool with the United Kingdom, American ally, instead of beating up on your friends, then yeah, England could send you some ships. Instead of beating up on Macron, then France will send you some ships. Instead of beating up on Spain, then they might well help you out. I'm saying you beating up on these people. You putting taxes on South Korea. You taxing them like that. He don't understand soft power. So when you need that help, then they not going to try to be with you. They not going to help you, bro. You got to bring that in. The people you pick on, the people you talk hard down, if that's your personality, you can't do it to your friends because you're going to need them. And I said it back then. You're going to need that help. They're not America's allies for no reason. I think of a conflict, and I think it was President Obama when they had a conflict and he had England and France was leading and America just playing the background. President Obama was pimping and playing them. He was using all their military resources or getting them the help. That's what President Bush did. I'm saying that cowboy mentality, we don't need no help, and see you involved in a situation where you don't understand as well the situation you involved in. But I'm saying he could use resources in Europe. He could use resources in the Middle East, people who understand the situation a little bit better. Not saying the U.S. military ain't capable of accomplishing any task. I'm just saying, like,
sure, I think his initial comments were related to the four objectives that were laid out in terms of what the Pentagon was trying to achieve from a military perspective, because there was a question about whether or not we would need to use the British base at Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean to be able to.
4 objectives. We need to do a live stream on that the military was trying to achieve. They have achieved those objectives. Yet and still, week 3, we still there. We still fighting, sending more Marines.
Launch strategic bombers against Iran, and I think the Pentagon determined, obviously, now that it could do so without having to use that base. Now we're talking about a different mission set. So in addition to those 4 objectives that were laid out in terms of taking out the missiles, the missile launchers, the drones, the defense industrial base behind that, the Navy, and then potentially the nuclear program, which Cedric just spoke to in terms of what they're targeting.
So that was the objectives. The missiles, the drones, the Navy, the Air Force, the missile launcher, you see what I'm saying? That's the military objectives. So in addition to doing that, what President Trump has done, has accomplished, we won. He is something new he's trying to do. That's the Strait of Hormuz, And this is where I think that it goes left. That's why it's
a new mission set has popped up, and that is the defense of the Strait of Hormuz to allow folks to be able to transit there commercial shipping-wise, because the Iranians have now adopted a strategy of trying to apply pressure on the U.S. administration to stop the war by jacking up the price of oil.
What they did off the coast, bro, that was a whole different situation. It's a whole different scenario to what you got going on right now. You see what I'm saying? It's a whole different situation. It's a whole different scenario. The U.S. is entering into a stage of war they hadn't prepared for. And it's dangerous. And without the correct leadership, this can go really bad for the U.S. military. Looking at the cards on the table, I don't know if you can make the strait safe enough to get those tankers to have confidence to give it a shot. Those drones are too easy to launch from anywhere. Looks like the Iranians have a strategy, and I guess we will have to see how it plays out. Like we said, and this is looking like a political deathbed for the Republicans. My source for our last audio this morning is Al Jazeera, and it was published on March the 15th, guys. This is the last audio I'm going to get down in the comments with you guys in just a second. Last audio.
No countries have publicly agreed to U.S. President Donald Trump's call to send warships to the Strait of Hormuz. British officials have told U.S. media the UK is discussing a range of options to ensure the security of shipping in the region. Also speaking to U.S. media, Chinese officials, embassy officials, have said Beijing is calling for hostilities to stop and that all parties have the responsibility to ensure stable and unimpeded energy supply. Japanese officials.
So basically, the United Kingdom said they looking at options. China said all parties need to stop. Now, all parties have a responsibility. So these are the nation's President Trump has asked for help. These are their responses. Let me start this over from the very beginning so you guys could catch it.
Well, so far, no countries have publicly agreed to U.S. President Donald Trump's call to send warships to the Strait of Hormuz. British officials have told U.S. media the UK is discussing a range of options to ensure the security of shipping in the region. Also speaking to U.S. media, Chinese officials, embassy officials, have said Beijing is calling for hostilities to stop and that all parties have the responsibility to ensure stable and unimpeded energy supply. Japanese officials told local media Japan won't dispatch ships because Trump asks, saying Japan decides its own response and independent judgment is fundamental. And France has said it is not sending ships, posting on X, no, the French aircraft carrier and its crew are staying in the Eastern Mediterranean. Posture has not changed. Defensive it is. Well, to discuss this and all the latest developments.
So I guess South Korea had an answer, or they didn't get a response from South Korea. But the British said they discussing the options. That sound like that ain't a yes, but that ain't the no. The Chinese said that both parties are responsible and the fight needs to stop. So that sound like that's a no. Plus the Chinese, they still could get their oil. The Iranians aren't blocking the Chinese. Who else he asked? The French said no. The Japanese said we're not getting in it because the President Trump asked us we're going to remain independent. So that's basically they saying no. So I'm saying he asked South Korea. You can't ask Canada. I'm saying he got any takers. He said many nations going to help him in this coalition, multinational coalition. I mean, this is a test of your leadership, President Trump, on the world stage. That's what we're talking about. This is the test of your leadership. Because you can hate on Barack Obama, but Barack Obama in this very same situation, I guarantee the United Kingdom will be with him, France will be with him, Canada will be with him. Any country he call and could ask, I guarantee you they'll be with him. Before he even attacked Iran, if President Obama was going to do it, it would have been completely different. And that's what I'm saying, President Trump. That's the cost of you, the way that you govern. Like poking your friends in the eye, getting mad at Starmer, getting embarrassed and publicly insulting them, picking on the Canadians. I'm saying the Canadians are our you know what I'm saying? They're our neighbors. And your neighbors won't even help you in a conflict that you having overseas. He wouldn't even think to ask the Canadians to help. I don't know which conflict we should look it up. The Canadians have not assisted America, especially if they were asked. President Trump wouldn't even think to ask because he know the answer is no. That's what I'm saying. So there's a cost behind that. Because when you need them, what if we got in a world war? It's like the only reason why these nations will help you in a world war is out of complete necessity. Because without the necessity, they're going to choose to stay out of. They're not aligning with you. These are your friends. These are not only your allies, these are people, the people who it's affecting. Listen to me. 80% of the oil that's going through those straits, the Straits of Terror, are going to Asian countries. So President Trump is reaching out. He's not reaching out to China. He know China is Iran. How would you have China to help you? Chinese, they gonna be sending the secrets. They gonna be communicating with Iran. They already got channels, military channels set up, communication with Iran. It's like you having an enemy. You putting the enemy in your midst. And it's like asking Russia to help you do that. You see what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. I know he probably was being facetious because the Chinese getting a lot of oil from through the straits. But so is Japan. So is South Korea. You see what I'm saying? They said no. Well, I don't know about South Korea. Japan said no. And then France. That's like one of big America, France, and the United Kingdom. United all the time. United Kingdom, Starmer is probably going to end up helping them. Because that's America's closest ally. You see what I'm saying? But France said at this point, they said no. I'm saying, what about Germany? What about Italy? You know what I'm saying? Italy don't have no battleships. Germany don't have a navy. You know? There ain't more countries in Europe. What about the Saudis? You know? But they don't want to participate in it. And I'm saying, President Trump, I know this sounds rough, but this is directly because of you and the way you have dealt and handled yourself on the world stage. These are the consequences. When you need these people, they're not going to be there with you. You putting tariffs on them. You threatening to take over military, like, so you projecting all that military power and strength. They like, what you need my help for? You jumping out there butt naked into war, not really using diplomacy like you should have. You need to, if Barack Obama made a deal, President Trump, you need to make a deal. President Trump, if you don't remember, I ain't trying to play the audio, but I know you remember saying that President Obama was going to start a war with Iran before he made that deal. And if you ask me personally, yes, weak deal, but for 10 years, we didn't have to worry about this whatsoever until President Trump, when you tore up that deal, you enraged them. And they said, you know what? We gonna take out, he sent boatloads of money to Iran. Send the money. You gonna send boatloads of money to Iran too. You drop bombs on them. And yeah, they might not be getting no nuclear weapons right now, but I'm saying, President Trump, you gonna end up spending more money than Barack Obama did. Lost American lives. Lost wealth in the stock market, trillions, and at the same time, we paying more in gas. Like, you're not helping yourself in the affordability argument politically. You make that, bro, come on. I didn't, an hour and 15 minutes I've been cooking. I laid the point out, man. Comparing it with how President Obama dealt with that situation, President Obama gets all W's. Let's look at what President Obama's approval rating is right now. And I know this is something President Trump would not like to hear. And it would sound like I was attacking him. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying that, to me, it's like, it's clown stuff to try to look tough or be tough. Because if I tell you Ronald Reagan, the Republicans will hear that still. But President Trump, the MAGA people might not want to hear that. But what I'm saying is how President Trump did that, Sylvia. How President Ronald Reagan did it with no bullets being fired. What's Obama's approval rating? And this is what I want to tell you. What's his approval rating? Post-presidency approval rating is 59%. You know, 59% approval rating, you got to have some Republicans with you. A lot of independents. 59%. Let's look at George Bush's. George, what's W approval rate? His approval rating post-presidency. I want to give you the right one post-presidency. 54%. It ain't that low. It ain't much lower than President Obama's. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying his lowest rating was 22%. That could happen to you, President Trump. You don't think that possible? Gallup could show your approval rating at 22%, President Trump. Stay in that war. Stay in that war. It happened to George Bush. Why couldn't it happen to you, President Trump? I think it'll drop lower than that for you. 22% approval rate in that war. But he ended it with 54%. It ain't that much lower than President Obama's. But I'm saying, man, politically, I know that's going to be very destructive. You know what I'm saying? Smiley says the only play to do is to allow those forces into those country waters and to check them out of U.S. waters or U.S. Navy, and then other Navy will ask us for help. What I say to do, I say to stop shooting, stop firing, put the gun down and make a deal. Like the deal President Obama made. If it's not, I'm saying, listen, you're going to have to give them money to fix their country so President Trump can hide behind that. Giving them money is the best way to get them to play by your rules, to get them on your side and your friend. Look how much money America gives Israel. That's why Israel, so give the Iranians, you got to give them money anyway to rebuild a country that you done destroyed. So I'm saying, go to the table, man, the art of a deal, and make a deal. You can't let President Obama outdo you. He made a deal. There were no bombs dropped, no Americans killed, no, do I have to keep saying it? Make a deal, diplomacy. I don't think President Trump, it's like he wanted to bomb. They wanted to go to war with us. Fine, if that's what you want to do. But I'm saying for right now, at this point you are right now, in my opinion, you need to make a deal with Iran. Smiley says you can't have a Universe 25. Matrix says, why would Iran trust Trump? And I understand that. And they wouldn't trust President Trump. But I'm saying the first thing you should do is you should stop firing the guns and dropping the bombs. If President Trump, when he do that, that's when I know he on the right track. Because the problem with George Bush in the war, he did everything right to start the war. President Trump didn't do. So the consequence for that is you having a hard time getting the American people to buy this and getting the rest of the world to buy this, because he didn't set it up like President Bush set it up to start with. But President Bush had a 9/11 to rely on. President Trump don't have no real legitimate reason. No weapons of mass destruction, nuclear weapons, no real legitimate reason to attack Iran. That's the problem. But what I'm saying is that even if Iran wouldn't trust President Trump, if you stop dropping bombs, you got to give them the money to rebuild their country. So you put billions and hundreds of billions of dollars on the table that you got to give them already because you drop bombs. I know President Trump, not to belittle your administration, but I know no one in your administration have thought of this, because not too many people in your administration probably think like ghosts, or, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even going to try to belittle nobody. I'm going to just put it out there. Because I'm saying, without you dropping bombs, without you hitting Iranian hospitals, without you hitting any civilian infrastructure whatsoever, if you, President Trump, sat down at a table with the Iranians and he said, hey, we gonna give you how much money? No, he wasn't gonna give them no money. We know that. I've heard President Trump make statements about President Obama and giving plane loads of money being dropped off in Iran from the American government, from President Obama. How many of you guys have heard President Trump say that? I've heard that before. So President Obama, you get anybody at the table that do anything you say, they'll be your best friends if you give them money. That's soft power. That's what I'm saying. So in this situation, it's not that the Iranians have to trust President Trump or the Americans. I'm saying President Trump or the Republican Party or anyone, it would be almost a human rights violation for the Iranians to get some sort of compensation, for the Iranians not to get some sort of compensation for America dropping bombs. So now for the Republicans, for President Trump, for any reasonable human who has any sort of heart in a Christian nation, especially America, there's no way in the world that after the conclusion of this, America, not saying that they're going to rebuild nations like they did in foreign conflicts, but I'm saying other conflicts, but I'm saying they'll at least be willing to give the Iranians some sort of compensation for dropping bombs and destroying not to rebuild the military. I'm sure there'll be stipulations on it. So I'm saying there, in my opinion, professional opinion, that you have the seeds are laid there for a deal, a real deal, a lasting deal with the Iranian government that's in power right now. You ain't got to try to get rid of the military, do all of that. I would put something in the deal about human rights to ensure that they don't kill their people. I will put something in the deal about inspections, allowing Americans to come in and look for themselves. And I'm saying you give them money, because you got to give them money anyway to rebuild their country. I'm saying if you do these things, I'm saying I believe that, you know what I'm saying, America, President Trump can make a great deal with the Iranians at this time. Diplomacy right now, not diplomacy after you try to control some straits that you know you're not going to be able to do. You know ain't no tanker. I don't care how many escorts that you have with that tanker in a 2 mile, they're hitting it. How you going to protect the tanker? They're going to hit that military escort and the tanker as well. It's like Mission Impossible. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So that's just my take on that. You know what I'm saying? Smiley says you got hard sets in Iran from Russia. Look at the Strait at 140 million Russian population growth. You know what I'm saying? Russia says you are a handsome, very handsome man. I appreciate the comment. Russia. That's somebody saying Russia, man. That's too funny. Sylvia said the very first thing that was hit intentionally or not intentionally was a girls' grammar school. What does that say about the United States of America? Sylvia, that was an accident. I can assure you that. I promise you, Sylvia, that was an accident. That was an accident. That was an accident. The United States doesn't have a history of attacking civilian targets, yet alone a grammar school. You show me one commander in the United States military who would okay that. I guarantee you that was an accident. I got a live stream coming up on Wednesday. I'm not going to make no accusations, but I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't done, if that call wasn't made by AI, or if it was just I don't know about bad coordinates. You see what I'm saying? What the artificial intelligence, I'm not sure what happened, but that was just a mistake. The military is not going to come out and tell you all the way what happened behind that mistake. But I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to happen again. And I know for 1,000%, somebody said Trump would okay that. I do not believe that. I'm sorry, I do not believe. I don't believe you're trying to make President Trump be evil. I don't think that he's evil in that sense. I don't agree with that. You're trying to make President Trump be Kim Jong-un. I don't agree with that. I think the problem is you got a man who was never into politics. He don't understand politics. He don't understand the law. He comes from a business world where it's cool and it's okay to push the law, to push the bounds and the boundaries of the law. Do you guys understand that? In the business world, that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? You might write this on a tax form, or you might do this on a deed, or you might do that. They do that in the business world. Come on, man, let's be real. Everybody does that. All businesses, democratic businesses, that it doesn't matter. I look at stuff from a nonpartisan perspective, and it doesn't matter. That's the world he comes from. He don't understand in politics, this whole game is about the law. He don't understand that. He's trying to push the bounds of the law. You can't. In politics, it just works differently. He wanted to change things. He wanted to do things different. I understand that, but I mean, it's just not turning out for what he wanted or what he was trying to do or attempting to do. But saying that he's an evil person, I don't agree with that. I don't think that he's an evil. Listen, your definition of evil, that could be an opinionated view. But I want to define what the word evil is. I don't see how in this day and time that to become president of America, you can be an evil person. The definition of evil is profoundly immoral, wicked, or malevolent behavior, actions, or intentions, often causing significant harm, suffering, or destruction. It refers to the force of wrongdoing or a specific human act. It describes something sinful, harmful, or offensive. I don't see that President Trump is evil in the sense that he will order an Iranian girls' school to be hit. I completely disagree with that. I'm sorry. There's no way possible. I don't see that. It didn't happen. That's a fantasy. Y'all don't know President Trump like that, man. That man is not that. Come on, man. Listen, any certain things in politics, you just gonna do what you gonna do. You know what I'm saying? If you know what's going on behind the scenes, you know. I'm saying it's just unfortunate for a Republican president at this time. You gotta know certain ways you got to play this game. I'm saying, like with Israel, what's going on with Israel and Bibi Netanyahu and them situations, it's just a very dangerous time in the world. You just got to know how to play the game. President Trump, he chose to come and play the game the way he chose to. He played the game. He came out the jump wrong. And I think that's what the problem is. I can't completely explain everything I'm saying, and I'm trying to say he came out the hole wrong. He came out the jump wrong. I like President Obama's position better. President Obama, the first black man in America, he probably had more death threats. Ain't one bullet went by his ear one time. It's the way he played the game. You see what I'm saying? And then you see Charlie Kirk, somebody who you might say a completely opposite political figure. He made disparaging comments about President Obama's wife. You see what I'm saying? And you see Charlie Kirk, and I'm saying, like, he ended up, like, we see how that ended. And you see they tried to get President Trump. They didn't do that with President Obama. They didn't do that with President Biden. President Obama faced the same challenges that President Trump faced, same challenges. He just handled those challenges differently. And that's facts. You can't get mad at that. You got to recognize that as facts. President Clinton, President Reagan, every American president, I would say, besides President Bush. Man, listen, I said, look, so George Bush, the second George Bush, 9/11 happened under the first George Bush. If I said the second George Bush, y'all, that was an error. No, it's the second. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm in here tripping. 9/11 was what? September 9, 2011. So that was the second Bush. I'm in here tripping, y'all. I forget. I don't know what I was just thinking about. You know what I'm saying? That first Gulf War. Let's look up that first Gulf War. I know Kuwait asked for help. First Gulf War. 2001 was the second Gulf War. The first Gulf War was what? I said 2011. I'm in here tripping. 1991, Operation Desert Storm. And it was because Iraq's invasion and annexation of Kuwait. Saddam Hussein was trying to violate international orders. So, I mean, America had to do it. 42-country coalition, Operation Desert Storm. And then, of course, like I told y'all before correctly, George Bush was president during, you know what I'm saying, the second Iraq war and Afghanistan, and that was due to 9/11. That's the reason why it got kicked off. If George Bush second could have fought that war differently, he could have just went after the terrorists throughout the region. That's how President Obama was choosing to fight it instead of going. But I mean, it's not wrong with changing those regimes because people think those regimes need changing. Guys, I'm in here tripping, y'all. I'm sorry about that. Ahmad, good morning. He said George Bush Jr. 2001, and that is correct. You know what I'm saying? For 9/11. You know? Just trying to think of, and, you know, deep thinking of, you know what I'm saying, these prior wars in the Middle East and why America engaged in these wars, the justification. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying, that makes a whole lot of difference for me, and I'm thinking about what's going on with America today in the war that we're engaged in. Epstein files and his perversions to little girls 12 years old, that's evil. Yeah, but I'm saying you don't have no proof that President Trump did anything. Rambo 3. Sylvia, you don't have proof that President Trump did anything in the Epstein files. That's what I'm trying to tell all of you guys. Anybody who come to me, anything with President Trump, listen, you would have a real problem if you supported someone that you knew was a child molester, a real child molester. Someone who messed with a 12-year-old girl and he was a full-grown man. If you supported someone like that, you would have a real problem. We all would. We would condemn, I would condemn MAGA on a daily basis if they stood behind President Trump, if it was proven. Because anybody can make accusations about anything. Anybody. That's what you don't understand. There has never been any tangible evidence to prove that President Trump ever did anything with a child. So, no, I don't believe that he's evil. If you do something with a 12-year-old child and you're a full-grown man, yes, I believe that you're evil. You're like a sexual deviant. Jeffrey Epstein was. There's a lot of men that hung with Jeffrey Epstein that never touched children. There's a lot of men that hung with Jeffrey Epstein that only touched legal age girls. Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of college girls. You know, all those billionaires, any pretty girl probably in the world, he let them come. It was Ghislaine Maxwell, people behind the scenes you don't see. Probably a bunch of people, women there that was overage there. And you just hanging with the pedophile, but you going there to look for some girls. You're not finna mess with no 12-year-olds. You might want a 21 or 22-year-old. That ain't illegal. But it's going to look and sound bad because you out there with the pedophile who is messing and who got them kidnapped and doing all the crazy stuff. Listen, bro, I'm saying you got to bring me proof that President Trump messed with a 12-year-old. I don't believe that. You can't just tell me anything. I don't just be buying stuff like that. That's not me protecting him. That's not me defending him. I'll do the same thing if you tell me Barack Obama is not an American citizen. That to me, it's almost, if President Trump say it's a hoax, it's a conspiracy theory. When he said Barack Obama wasn't an American citizen, that's a conspiracy theory. The right always engage in conspiracy theories. I don't engage in conspiracy theories. You understand that? The right will tell you stuff about 9/11 being a hoax or being something fake or something American did. I don't engage in that kind of stuff. That's what I'm saying. I'm not a conspiracy theorist whatsoever. So that's how I see that. Smiley, maybe they do. And I'm not understanding. I'm not saying that they don't. You know what I'm saying? It's an evil, wicked world. But I'm saying just trying to make President Trump be this or make him be that. You see what I'm saying? Like, we need the proof for that. I'm not protecting or defending him, just like I don't feel like I'll be protecting and defending President Trump, President Obama, when they say he wasn't born in the United States. That's nonsense. You know how this go. We know the rules of this game. If we had the evidence on President Trump, he would have been gone. Been gone. If we had the evidence on President Trump, he would have been out of there. Point blank, period. You ain't got no proof, no evidence on nothing that you saying that he doing, that you saying that he doing that isn't right. You don't have no proof of none of that. That's what I'm saying. So without proof, I'm saying, like, you need proof. If you're going to say a man is a pedophile, you need proof of that. You can't just make that stuff up. Or you can. I'm saying that there's situations he probably did or was in that was like sketchy or borderline, but I'm saying in order for you to make me believe that that man has a problem messing with children and he got a whole grown, beautiful, gorgeous wife, and the times that I knew that he might have messed with a female that could have been like outside of his wife, the things I heard, these were all grown women he was messing with. You might say he had a problem with a woman in his cabinet or a woman around there, Laura Loomer or someone. You saying messing with a child? I don't see, look, you don't have no evidence. Back then, they trying to be playboys, bro. They probably were messing with all kind of 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 24-year-olds. Yeah, give me a 24-year-old. It's improper for Bill Clinton to be 50 messing with a 22, 21-year-old, 23, 24, however, 19-year-old, however. But I'm saying if she were legal, that's what I'm saying. Jeffrey Epstein, I'm tweaking, boy. Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of messing with 12-year-olds. Prince Andrew has been arrested. Let the investigators do it and arrest the ones who are guilty of harming children. You see what I'm saying? Because you messing with a girl who barely legal. You talking about full-grown men now. We catch you with someone who under the legal age. I really say, bro, I'm 45, 46. You'll never catch me messing with a woman. Forget 21. She gonna have to be older than 21. At 21, she don't have enough motion. She's still a child. Unless you talking about just sleeping with her. If you talking about just sleeping with a female, I still don't want to sleep with a 21-year-old. They still kind of child mode. A woman becomes fully mature, her body and everything, about 25, 26. So if you a grown man, full-grown man in your 40s, 25, 26 really should be the youngest age of a female that you really should be messing with. If you aware of her age. But I'm saying if she's 12 years old, you don't have to be aware of her age. You can't look at a 12-year-old and tell that a 12-year-old is a child. You know what I'm saying? A female about 22, some 22-year-olds, some of them 21, they get it slow. Their body matures, and some of them don't never mature like some women do. But I'm saying the type of women that I like, they going to be fully developed, grown, and you going to know that she like how old she is, man. Come on. So I'm saying making that accusation on President Trump, I just ain't gonna go with it. The Eugene Carroll stuff, he had to pay the money. So you can't say nothing about the Eugene Carroll stuff. You can't say that it's not right or it's not accurate. But everything else though, I'm gonna need some accusations. I'm gonna need some charges and some proof and some evidence. You don't need no charges. Give me an evidence of President Trump rubbing down on a 14-year-old, doing something solicit with a 14-year-old. Where that video at? You see what I'm saying? Omar says Trump let a 17-year-old tennis star skip her match and stay at Mar-a-Lago. Weird, right? That is weird. And I'm not saying that listen, I've heard a lot of things like that you could say that is weird. And I'm not saying that it's not weird. We don't know what was going on. You don't know what was going on. You do not know what was going on. That 17-year-old could have had a 22-year-old homegirl and came hang with President Trump. And President Trump, I'm not saying that he probably didn't do nothing sexually that you would say maybe we would call immoral. Because I'm saying if you were saying 45, if I'm 46 and I'm having sex with a 21-year-old, y'all would say that everybody would have a problem with that. Because I told y'all I did some stuff like that in my 30s. Those aren't children. A 21-year-old is not a child. We're not talking about some old kook church person from the South, black person who call everybody children. They calling a 35-year-old a child. A 35-year-old is not a child. If it's a child to you, you just too old. That's all it is. The definition of a child, the legal definition of a child. That's what we talking about this morning. If we talking about having sex with a child, because if I'm not mistaken, a child is a 12-year-old. Legal definition of a child. When you say having sex with children, it says it's typically below 18 and most jurisdiction is a minor. A child is anyone under 18-year-old. This could vary. For example, some definitions might specify 19. Some use lower ages like 14 or 16. 14, 16, 18, 19, all of that. That's children. You say a child. You know what I'm saying? So some definitions 19, but I don't see nothing about no 20-year-old being a child. I don't see nothing I don't see nothing about a 21-year-old being a child or 22-year-old. When I look at it, to me, she a child, but that's my opinion. That's not what it is in real life. You see what I'm saying? You got to be able to separate that. She look like a little child, like a 12-year-old boy with his shirt off. She not developed. She not really a woman. I want a woman that look like a child. But I'm saying if she 21, that's not the legal definition of a child. If a man got a Love Jones for younger women and he messing with a 21-year-old and he 46 like Ghost, that's not a child. It might be immoral, but it's not illegal. So I'm saying there could have been some improper things going on with President Trump, but you don't know you got to come with the facts. That this man, we got a video of him having sex with a 17-year-old in the state of Florida in year such and so when the legal age was 18. Because some states, the legal age is 17. So you got to be careful with that too. Omar says credible witness accused him in the files. The same one got the settlement from the Epstein. Why would they lie about Trump? They might not be lying about him. But the problem is that we don't know that for a fact. The accusation, if you accused him of doing something, Omar, my thing is, why did they get Epstein for it and not President Trump? Listen to this. I'm accused two people of doing something. I'm accused Donald Trump of doing something, and I'm accused Jeffrey Epstein. So Epstein gets convicted or something. What happened with Epstein? Whatever. But I'm saying, but Donald Trump is nothing. There's been no charges. He's never had to pay any settlements. We know about hush money he paid for Stormy Daniels. We know about hush money he paid for porn stars. We know about Eugene Carroll. It's not like he's innocent of any kind of sexual immorality. So I'm not saying that, Omar, in his past, he's got a bunch of past about bunch of sexual immorality. But what I'm saying is I never heard nothing. I've heard accusations and Epstein files that you hear about a bunch of people. The stuff is salacious. You really cannot substantiate it. Those accusations, I'm saying with his past, he might not have been involved in something that's improper. Omar, all I'm saying is you don't have no evidence of him being with no children. That's what I'm saying. The Miss Teen America, how old the girls are in Miss Teen America? Aren't they usually over 18? Are they teenagers? You see what I'm saying? He had that pageant. He had the Miss America pageant. The Miss America pageant, if I'm not mistaken, those are all grown women. You know he in there doing stuff improper, peeking in on the girl. He could catch one. You know he probably finna try to knock her out. That's like any man that would do that. Like he have billionaires and he like women. He like blonde-headed women. Like that's all those people in that, they all got Epstein lists. The most cleanest one out of all of them, that's what money does. It corrupts. I'm trying to give y'all wisdom and knowledge and truth. I'm not trying to protect him, Omar. I'm saying in order for you to convict him or you to make me think that he's a pervert, you're going to have to bring the evidence. Everyone already knows about Eugene Carroll, Omar, so we already know about sexual improprieties, but they still voted for him and supported him like they did Bill Clinton. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying that the Epstein list and that argument isn't important, but I talk about Iran because Iran is way more important than he the president. He's not going to be removed until you show me a video that's not AI of President Trump rubbing down a 16-year-old in Mar-a-Lago. You ain't been able to produce that video. Until you produce that video, which is not there, it does not exist, then he going to remain president with a bunch of salacious stuff hanging over his head. Omar says the Miss Teen USA women, and there were underage girls in there, and I know they were. And Omar, everyone knows that they are, and you can let your imagination roam. But it's just improper. It's not fair to accuse him or to convict him of doing something that you do not know that he done. You know some improper stuff happened. Anybody with any kind of wisdom know that. Which one of us have not done improper stuff in our lifetime? Every one of us got a Epstein. We got something like that we want to hide. Maybe not nothing wicked and messing with children, but you got something you done in your past. Everybody we all got stuff like that. I don't want to go into, I think it's fantasy when you start saying that, like, you fantasizing because you don't know what happened. You got to let it come out what happened. They going to continue doing the investigation. I never thought Prince Andrew would get arrested, but he did. It's not going to die no time soon. I just don't, if there was something that the government had, maybe something will pop up. Maybe an accuser will come up out the woodworks with a credible story that can be, that you can, you know what I'm saying, make sure that it's true. I'm saying, Omar, I don't see nothing that the government will be able to produce that will show that Donald Trump, beyond a shadow of a doubt, had sexual relations with an underage girl. That right there, I'll stand 10 on that. Because if they had that, when Joe, during the Biden administration, when the Department of Justice was trying to put Donald J. Trump, the civilian, in jail, if they had proof that he messed with a child, I guarantee you, they would have charged him with that too, and the January 6th, and the Eugene Carroll. They were throwing the book at him. There ain't nothing there that the government has that has proof of him messing with a child. So if I know that as a fact, then there's no way I can accuse him of that or hold that on his head. You ain't got no proof of it. Nah, if it's not no video evidence, but you got to have more than just an accusation. Omar, people have accused me of doing stuff that I never done. They accuse me of doing stuff that I did. And there's stuff I did that's worse than they know about that. Ain't nobody said nothing about it before. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying the same thing with him. He probably did stuff worse than what you thinking on the Epstein file before. That ain't nobody know about. But that's like fantasizing because you don't have no faith. You don't know. You got to know stuff like that, man. That stuff you got to know. You can't go into court with some subject. Take any of that in the court. There was a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old who sued him in 2015 and they got thrown out. She sued him for that right there. She said she had sex with Donald Trump at 15 years old. Right before he ran for president, she sued him in Los Angeles and they got thrown out. I'm saying, listen, you got to go in the courtroom. That's what, you know, I'm a legal dude. You got to come with the proof. If you ain't got I said video, you can have more Omar than the video, but you got to have hard down proof of that man messing with a child. That's some heavy stuff because he don't get no forgiveness for messing with a child. It's no coming back from that. So I'm saying you got to give me some real proof, not no statements, not no I seen, not no I'm sure, not no none of that. I need some real proof that'll stand up in a court of law. Because if it's not solid, if it's not hard, you coming back with something that happened from 40 years ago, anybody could step up and said that. Oh, yeah, this girl hung out with President Trump. She did A, B, C, and D. Yeah, and he was knocking off her mama while he was married. And that's something he lied to Melania, and he lied to Don, and he lied to Ivanka about, and Jared about. He looked them in their eyes, he lied about it, and he was knocking off her mama. And he just don't want that to come out. You don't know what's going on. Yeah, he might have known a 17-year-old, he might have did this, he might have did that, but you don't know for what reason it was. You really don't know. That's what I'm saying, because you don't know. You cannot convict something as somebody is something off of rumors. That's gossip. I don't do that gossip rumors. Like, I don't talk behind a man back. I say it to his face. I'm a thoroughbred dude. I don't fake and I don't hate. If you can't say that to that man's face and prove that, you got to be able to prove that. You saying he did it, he saying he didn't. You know how the game go. You can't just hold him to it because you know he a skis bag or he a slum bag. We know that's why Bill Clinton and President Trump hung out. They the same kind of dudes. You know they straight both. You know what I'm saying? Sexual, whatever. You know what they is. The American people know what they is. That's why they moving away from Trumps, and that's why they moved away from Clintons. No more Trumps, no more Clintons. But during the time, they still voted for Clinton with his sexual improprieties, and they still voted for Donald Trump. We not judging Donald Trump because of the fact that he's on the Epstein list. We judging him for going to war with Iran. We judging him for gas prices. We judging him for the price. That's what the voters are going to vote on, Omar. I'm sitting here and trying to prove that President Trump did A, B, and C, and D with E, F, G, and H. Sitting here trying to prove that, in my opinion, that's almost fruitless. Like, you cannot, it's almost impossible for you to prove. You can't prove that. So, because you can't prove it to me, like, I mean, why I'm going to spend my time on it? Like, the American voters, we know about the Epstein. Y'all, I mean, you talked 3 years about the Epstein list. Not 3 years, but I'm saying, bro, he been president for how long? So we've been sitting here talking about some Epstein list. I addressed it. I said that it wasn't cool he was on it. He shouldn't have been hanging with Jeffrey. I made a snide comment or two. But I'm saying, come on, man. Like, we still talking about the Epstein list, bro. We got way more stuff that's important than the Epstein list to talk about, bro. We got to talk about this war, man. Like, we fighting this war. Why are we fighting this war? The voters talk about it. That's what they care about. Why are gas prices high? Man, why the price of rent still too high, man? Price of rent too high, man. I'm trying to get, you know what I'm saying? The interest rate way too high. I can't even buy a house, afford a house right now, man. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, you know what I'm saying, the gas price is too high, man. I'm worried about this and worried about that. One thing I am not worried about, and the American voters is not worried about no Epstein file. No Epstein list. And that's not a slight to any girl who was molested by that monster, that dead child molesting pedophile. What I'm trying to say is if President Trump did it to you, you got to come forward, not with no accusation. This happened 40 years ago. It ain't like they could go do some kind of DNA, some kind of test, and they could see if this really happened. If you had some evidence like that, that would be awesome. But I'm saying you got to come forward with some sort of tangible evidence that'll stand up in court. Go get you a lawyer and go file the case in court. That's what I'm saying. You can't sue him directly, But I'm saying, like, you could put that case in court in a way that you accusing him of doing that. And as soon as he ain't no president no more, then go and get your civil charges, get your money from him. I'm saying, come with some evidence. If she got some evidence to prove, some tangible evidence, then he could get there. There's no statute of limitations on that. Ain't no way in the world a Supreme Court gonna protect a pedophile if you got some tangible evidence that this man is a child molester or a pedophile. The Supreme Court ain't gonna protect that. But the evidence ain't there. If the evidence ain't there, to me, it's just a smear campaign if you continually try to put him there. You can't benefit nothing on smearing President Trump about being sexually improper. You can't smear him about that. That's what the Democrats don't realize, Omar. The American people already know he's sexually improper. How can you smear him about that? How can you smear him about being sexually improper? The American people know he's sexually improper. They know it already. They don't care. Operation Epstein Fury, that's all that matters is them Epstein files, man. That's it. Somebody liberal talk, it ain't, oh, you talking about Omar. I know you can't be talking about me because it's not no liberal talk, man. I'm not a liberal. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to support President Trump if he did something wrong, but I'm not going to condemn him if there's no proof, no tangible legal evidence that he did do something wrong. I'm not going off a rumor about something that happened 40 years ago. Why they didn't tell on him 40 years ago when he did it? That's the whole problem. The girls who did tell on Epstein, I think a lot of them got paid. He went to jail, he a child molester, but that's the government lapse to let him go. He a spy for the Mossad, for Israel, or for whoever. That's why they let him go. Omar, that's what we should be mad at. Whoever let that dude go, harming them children. That's what we should be mad at. I'm saying we trying to find President Trump into something that we already know President Trump get down like something. But messing with a child, it ain't no evidence there that he done mess with no children. You know what I'm saying? He got a wife that's older than me. He like them pretty girls. He just them missing you, and maybe it was some, but you ain't got no evidence he messing with children. Cause a man have sex with a whole bunch of females don't mean he'll mess with a 12-year-old. That's what I'm saying. Because I'm saying the last time I was like promiscuous like that in my 30s, I wouldn't mess with no child. I might skate the line. She's 18, 19, 20, 21. I can't say I remember myself when I was in my 30s messing with a girl who was under the legal age. I know for a fact I did. But I'm saying you can't say you see a famous dude, he'll have a 21-year-old, and he 40, or he'll have an 18-year-old. You can't say, like some men, if you promiscuous, it's no way in the world you could say that you a promiscuous man and you in your 30s and you never touched a girl under 25. You was a liar. I'm just being honest. I ain't talking about Hugh Hefner running around here 80 with a 20-year-old. I'm talking about you being in your 30s and you trying to tell me if you promiscuous, you didn't mess with a 20-year-old or a 21-year-old. It's just a game. Some 20, 21-year-olds, they look like 30-year-olds, they body. And if you out there striking females, that's just how it goes sometimes. You just like some of us, you out there striking females, you know you done struck some fat girls that you don't want to admit or put in public. I just tell the truth. I don't care. I just be real about it. I'm just real about everything I've done. Other people not real about what they done, but I am. When I was in my 20s, I can't say what I did. You know what I'm saying? I know I didn't do nothing that caused me to go to jail or that was harmful to anyone. Because if it was harmful, I will have charges. Like I know people who mess with children who got charges. I don't have no charges for messing with no children. So if you say that about me, you defaming my character. You lying on me. President Trump sue people. He don't sue people like I do. I'll sue the snot out of you if I catch you saying something directly to me like that. I will sue the snot out your nose. President Trump, he might sue you, but I'm saying they saying I was in the Epstein file. I'll sue you every time you say that. That's defamation. Because I'm saying President Trump in the Epstein files, but you can't make that man a child molester. You can't do that. That's dirty. That's grimy. That's wrong. It ain't because they ever done that to me before. It's just the facts. You can't make him be that unless, because you don't know what was going on. Yeah, you saw me with this girl and she was 15, but you didn't know I was striking her homegirl. I was striking her sister. I was striking her mama. You don't know what was going on unless you got some hard down facts and proof. And the girl said you had sex with her and she was underage. Why she didn't report you whenever you did it? That's the first question everybody gonna ask. If she had sex with you and she was over, because I had a bunch of homeboys. I know this dude was a basketball coach in Ocean Springs. And he was 21. He got caught sneaking in a 15-year-old girl and having sex with her. He was like a super dude. He was a mixed dude. He was like a super coach, super basketball player. Everybody loved him, adored him. He 21 years old. He got 20 years for that. 20 years. With a 14-year-old, he's a coach. My bad, he wasn't 21. He was like 25, 26, but still, he was young. He got 20 years for that. I know a bunch of homeboys that got in trouble. Like I told y'all before, I knew a homeboy was messing with a 14-year-old. I told him about what he was doing when he was doing it. And she went and wrote in her journal and told her daddy he walking around sex offender the rest of his life. Ain't none of that. I ain't never got charged with none of that kind of stuff. So I'm saying if they come at me like that, Omar, if I catch you saying that directly, I'm going to sue the snot out of you and your business. Yeah, if you say it to me directly, I'll sue the snot out of you right there at your bill. You know how ghosts get down. I'm President Trump. He could sue you for saying that. That is defamation of character. You can't say that he can't suffer no loss. Look at his Trump name. He got Trump on all of his stuff. Trump name. You speaking against his name by saying, and you ain't got no proof that he messed with a 12-year-old. I think that's the wrong angle. Plus, I think it's bad with the voters. I don't think the voters really care. They don't want to hear that. They got an opinion whether he messed with I know he messed with some 20-year-olds. He probably messed with some legal girls. I don't think Trump was messing with no children, but that's my personal opinion. I don't think he was doing that. I do not think he was doing that. It's a lot of men who will mess with a younger female, but they're not going to go that low and mess with a child. So if you ain't got no proof, like that's an argument to me. You said, why don't Trump sue? I don't know. Because if I catch somebody famous like that calling me a child, I'm going to sue you. If you saying that, that's what defamation. If you publishing that, you going to get sued. You saying it on radio, TV, really on social media, you publishing it. You coming out there saying he a child molester. And if he feel like he could get the amount of money that it's worth, I mean, I say it on here, he try to sue me, he ain't going to get nothing. But I'm saying if you got a name and you out there saying that he could get his money, yeah, he'll shoot a snot out of you for saying he a child molester. He might be a lot of things he ain't know. That's what I'm saying. P. Diddy ain't get convicted for having sex with a child. That's different. That's something completely different because you a sexual deviant. It's a lot of men who they don't get drugged out in the spotlight that do stuff like that, who got a bunch of secrets. That's what you don't understand. So many men got secrets like that. They just not in the spotlight. I know a dude who got accused of raping a girl. I know a dude who was slept with a 15-year-old. A 14, 15-year-old. I know this dude for a fact. He's ain't nobody look at him as he a child molester. He try to act like he don't know she was 15. He knows she was 15. And he had sex with her. And we all was there and witnessed it. He like 23 years old. And that's what we know about. He probably done that more times than that. Ain't nobody know him as a child molester. I'm saying there's plenty of dudes who do stuff like that. You just don't, you want to look at something the way that you want to look at it. I don't get down like that though. Real talk, if they wouldn't accuse me of doing that, I just don't get out like that. It's hard. I'm not a Kool-Aid kind of drinking dude. I'm not a peon type drinking dude. I'm going to judge somebody for what I know of what they are. I know what President Trump is. I know what Bill Clinton is. The American people know what they are. They didn't vote for President Trump because they thought he was going to be the next leader of Hillsong United. They didn't vote for President Trump because they thought he was going to be the next leader of the Southern Baptist Convention. You know what I'm saying? Billy Graham, I said, what y'all think he was President Trump? Because he made them Trump Bibles, Omar. They thought President Trump was going to go out there and start preaching sermons. They ain't vote for him for that. They know he old dude. They know what he is, man. Ain't nobody trying to. But you saying mess with a child, that's something completely different. You're going to need hard down evidence for that. Not just some evidence, some hard down evidence for that. And the hard down evidence for that just don't exist. That's what I'm saying, y'all. It does not exist. And because that evidence does not exist, I can't sit here and just say anything about, like, you know what I'm saying, President Trump being Trump can tell them he doesn't have to be sued by the family members by fraud processing of the claim made. Somebody said I'll tweak. His name, he is who? What is he? If he's not the president, what is he? That's what I'm saying. I don't live in fantasy land, man. I live in reality. Reality. He is the president of the United States. His name is President Trump. Just like President Obama, just like President Clinton, just like I might say Bill Clinton, or I might say Barack Obama or Joe Biden, because they're not the sitting president. But if they were sitting president, I wouldn't even call Barack Obama President Obama. I would call him the president. It definitely would say that about Kamala, the president, Madam President. You know what I'm saying? But I call him President Trump. That's respect. That's who he is. He was duly elected. Omar, I apologize about that. Smiley says, how can the FBI raid Mar-a-Lago and not the Department of Homeland Security on the military disinformation rulings of overall plans of peace deals? I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? But that's politics, man. And politics is not always fair. As a matter of fact, the majority of the time it's not going to be fair. You know? And it's going to be partisan. And parts of the government that weren't set up or made to be partisan, or it's probably best if they're not partisan, they are partisan in this day and time. And that's just unfortunate for all of us, for all of Americans. It's unfortunate. Yeah, it does. I think it does need to be expunged too. Red G, what's up, boy? He says, these men who use their power to harm women and children. Yeah, like all of them. He says Quincy, Prince Andrew, etc. Yeah, all of them, Red G. I agree with that, 1,000%. Any man with money like that, they do that. They use that to harm women and children, man. That's factual. I've been saying that for a long time. That's why y'all support these people who support these billionaires and these rich men. You don't understand that money corrupts people. It's us versus them. Reggie, I've been saying that from day one, my boy. Omar says, everybody see? Nah, Omar, that's not what's going on, bro. Michelle Obama Spec says, I see it. Well, I'm sorry you guys feel that way, man. If you guys haven't liked the video, man, y'all double tap the screen for me. Y'all subscribe to the channel. Y'all hit that notification bell, man. I respect everybody's opinion. I really do, man. That's why I do the live stream the way I do it. I respect your opinion. I respect how you feel. And you know what I'm saying? I'm going to give you, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to read your comments, so I'm going to try to read your comments as best as I can. You know what I'm saying? On some channels, they don't read no comments besides people who donated. On most channels, they only read the comment. And listen, like on Candace Owens' channel, she might have 200 people who donated. She only going to read 3 or 4 of those 200 people who gave money. So just because you give money don't mean she going to read your comment on her channel. That's how most people do it. On smaller channels like mine, if you go watch them, the only comments that they read now is people who donated money. So I try to read everybody's comment, let you get a voice, you know what I'm saying, so you could participate in the live stream, man. You know what I'm saying? If you guys haven't liked the video, you guys go ahead and double tap the screen for me, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all hit the notification bell. Y'all keep jumping down there, man. What we want to talk about, y'all? What we talking about? 2 hours and 13 minutes, y'all. Somebody said, I'm crashing out over rich man right now. Nah, I'm not crashing out over no rich man. I've felt this way. It's not crashing out. If I was crashing out, it would be a constant crash out. I feel it. I've been this way from the beginning. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, rich men are the problem with America. What poor man is on the Epstein list? Yeah. Money, corruption, and greed. That's what I believe. I believe that my whole life. I got a problem with rich men. I told you, Elon, I might like 2 or 3 billionaires in this whole world. I don't like them. I got a problem with I feel like honestly, every billionaire in America have an Epstein list. You name a billionaire, just like Red G said, I believe they all have some sort of Epstein list. Every last one of them. That's what I believe. And that's factuals. What about the Oscars, Red G? What y'all want to talk about the Oscars, man? You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to talk about the Oscars? See if I could bring some up Oscars real quick and play it for you. Red G with that $5 donation. I appreciate your support, Red G. That's what I'm talking about, my brother. I appreciate your support. Red G, let me see if I could bring something up on the Oscars real quick, since you said you want to discuss that. Smiley said billionaires' money is tied into property, so people have jobs mostly. Nah, that's not. Maybe so. I'm not disputing the good of a billionaire's money. I'm not disputing the abilities that billionaires have to bring money to our economy, their talent, their skill level. I'm not disputing that. I'm talking about the wickedness and the corruption that too much money brings to people. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I believe in taxing them. That's why I believe in regulating them and finding that everybody has an Epstein list. Bottom line. Everybody does. So let's look at the Oscars. 2026 Oscars big winner. Let's see.
I've been dealing with dark spots.
Reggie, thank you for the donation.
Nothing worked for me until I found User Zone. There were visible results after just 12 weeks. My skin is brighter.
I'm gonna play a little audio for about the Oscars since
After another at the 98th Academy Awards.
What a night. You guys, let's have a martini. This is pretty amazing.
One battle after another, taking home 6 awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Supporting Actor. It was a night full of first-time winners, including Jessie Buckley, who won Best Actress for her role in Hamnet.
This is really something.
Michael B. Jordan won his first Oscar, beating out Timothée Chalamet for Best Actor for his role in
Michael B.
Sinners.
Jordan.
Denzel Washington, how Jamie Foxx, Forrest
Michael B. Jordan.
Smith, and to be amongst those giants, amongst those greats, amongst my ancestors, amongst my guys. Thank you, everybody in this room.
Sinners also taking home the Oscar for Best Cinematography. Autumn Durald Archibald became the first woman to win in that category.
I really want all the women in the room to stand up because I feel like I don't get here without you guys.
Sinners director Ryan Coogler took home his first Oscar for Best Original Screenplay, but he lost out to one battle after another's Paul Thomas Anderson for Best Director. Amy Madigan became a first-time Oscar winner at age 75 for her role in the horror movie Weapons.
Yeah, I probably don't watch it as much
And it was
either.
a golden night for Golden, which became the first pop song to win the Oscar for Best Song.
But
In
Red
perhaps
G,
the biggest shock of the night.
It's a tie. I'm not joking.
Only the 7th tie in Oscars history, as 2 films shared the award for Best Live-Action Short. It was a night of celebration, but also of emotion.
My daughter Jackie was 9 years old when she was killed in Uvalde.
We heard from Gloria Cázares, who was featured in the Oscar-winning documentary All the Empty Rooms, memorialized the untouched bedrooms of children lost to school shootings.
Since that day, her bedroom has been frozen in time. We believe that if the world could see their empty bedrooms, it would be a different America.
Barbra Streisand delivered a surprise performance, paying tribute to the late Robert Redford, her co-star in The Way We Were.
To the millions who have enjoyed his films all these years, I want you to know, here and around the world, how many times Rob told me that it meant everything to him.
And Billy Crystal eulogized director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle, joined by more than a dozen actors who starred in Reiner's many hit films.
Buddy, what fun we had storming the castle.
Truly such an
man, so Red G, that's the Oscars, man. I would have never tuned into that if it weren't for you, Red G. I appreciate that donation. Smiley says I would marry a younger woman. I don't care what people got to say. I look younger. I would look odd with most women my age. Look, whenever I'm a type of person, I don't believe that love has no color. I don't believe that love has... I believe that love is something. Should be. Love is not bound by an age, a color, anything like that. Love is bound by actions and by thoughts and by knowledge. That's what love is, okay? So I don't believe that I could say that I have to marry, me being 46 or about to be 46, that I have to marry a woman that is at least 40 years old. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't say that I have to marry a woman that is at least, I would say, 35 years old or at least 30 years old. But I would say there is a bottom. I would say that I would have to marry a woman at least 25 or 26. But at 46, I would marry a woman who's 27. I would. You know what I'm saying? Or they don't like moving around. You know what I'm saying? And I move around. And a lot of older women don't like moving around much. And I move. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of older women, they have certain kind of ways and certain kind of dispositions. And I might agree. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends. Like, I can't say that a woman is a certain age or a woman is this or a woman is that to why I would marry her or would not marry her. I can't say that. I can't say a woman has to be black or a woman has to be a certain color to what I would marry her. Love, when you're talking about love and a real affection, a lasting love, you see what I'm saying? It's not bound. It shouldn't be bound by any kind of rules, besides morality and the law. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know if she too young that you really should marry her or be with her, you know that. That's what I'm saying. So you know a female that's a certain age, you could say, yeah, she probably too young. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I'm saying I really couldn't say that I would marry a woman who's 20 years younger than me. I couldn't say that. And that might be weird for some people, and I apologize for them, but I'm not you. You gotta understand I'm not you, and ain't nothing I'm doing or I would do is against the law. I'm not saying the girl that I marry won't be 37. I'm not saying the girl I marry won't be 43. I'm not even saying that I would get married. I'm not saying none of that. But what I'm saying is if it's legal, and if I know that she, like, if you marrying a 21, something wrong with that. 24, I even think. You know what I'm saying? But I know about 27 years old. I know females that are 27 that are millionaires at 27. I know a female right now, she about 41 years old. She been a millionaire since she was 27. It's a grown woman. You know what I'm saying? If you prefer to have a woman that's younger, as long as you ain't getting no child, a 27-year-old, that's legal, that's legit, ain't nothing wrong with that. It might be immoral to someone else, or they might not think it's right, but there's nothing wrong with that. Legally, nothing. I can't see nothing wrong with it whatsoever. If you come at me like you a Christian, they marry women much younger than that. Like 50-year-olds marrying teenagers in the Bible days. So, I don't know, man. That's just the way I feel, my opinion, and how I think. Y'all be right back. probably done got about 6 inches of water, man. It's a lot of rain. You know what I'm saying? It's raining right now, y'all. I apologize about the brief little break. Reggie said, I'm old and I look good, but why would I impregnate just to have her a single mother widow? Yeah, man, I'm not trying to like get no female pregnant though, man. That ain't my goal. You know what I'm saying? I was in a situation like that with a girl, but you know what I'm saying? Like the girl was cool. Like I liked her personally. I liked her as a person. You know what I'm saying? And she just was in a situation where she was trying to have a baby. You know what I'm saying? And because I liked her as a person and I didn't have any children and I wanted to have a child, you know, that's something that I don't believe I might not be able to have any, or I might have to get some help to have children, you know? And that's just what it is. And so I was in a situation, man, where a girl was trying to have a baby, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, if I could, then it would have happened, definitely. Or I don't know why it didn't happen, because that's like 3, 4, 5 opportunities, or not opportunities, times in my life with a female where, you know what I'm saying, I could have got them pregnant, but it just didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Where they were trying to, or I was trying in one incident. You know what I'm saying? But this time she had brought it up and she was trying. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I liked her as a person. I thought she was cool if I had a baby with her. You know what I'm saying? I figured, you know, I was going to keep her. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it would be. You know, she would have been like, I would just been rocking with her. I mean, if I liked a female, that was my mentality at the time. Like, I was 35 when I met her, 34, 35 when I met her. I'm 46 now, or I'm finna be 46 in April. So I think different. You know what I'm saying? I'm grown, I'm older, more mature, I'm more wiser. You know, I wouldn't put myself in no situation with no female like that, number one. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't got no motion, I'm not going to put myself in a situation like that. Like, there's certain situations where I'll see a female and she like a 10. But to me, she can't really be no 10. If you 21, you can't be a 10 with me. I've seen some bad 21-year-olds, but like 1 out of maybe 1,000, literally. I seen one, she's super bad. She go to Cornell, 2 of them. Like, I could tell, like, I recognize them when I see her. Like, they know me, because people telling them who I am. I recognize them when I see them. 2 of them super bad. Real talk, to go to Cornell. But I'm saying, like, I know the second one might be like 24, 25. There's 3 of them, really. It's a blonde head when she ain't as bad. But if I was going to try one, it'd probably be her. She like 24. Real talk, though. But the one that, like, she too young. They too young, man. Like, you got, like, I'm not going to judge. I see the girl. If she like a 10, I know she a 10. But if she 22, she go 21, 19, 18, 22. She go to Cornell, I done wrote her off. So she ain't no 10 no more. Or she might still be a 10, but she a 10 for the 21, 22, 23-year-old. She ain't a 10 for me. My 10 gonna be like, she a grown woman. You know what I'm saying? Like I said that on the live stream, I think yesterday, I seen a girl up here at the park. She was a woman. I could look at her and tell you she at least 25. It's no way possible she could be younger than 25. Not possible. If I look at her face, I could tell certain features in her face. That's a woman. You don't have to know her age to know. She might be in her 30s. She just might hold her age good. Is it possible she could be 30 because she was fully developed woman? See, with that, like she cut J-Lo, she in her 50s. And she gorgeous, like that's what it reminded me, like that kind of vibe. It wasn't that big, but she was nice, bro. I'm talking about nice. But she grown. She gotta be grown. She could be 21 and be nice, but I'm talking about, I seen one like her, the shorts she had on, like it was worse than the Hooter shorts. Real talk. Like I'm talking about, like she ain't no shorts. She just like you see anything you want to, like her walking. She stop and bend over, it's a wrap. For real. I'm serious. Like, but I mean, like she young though. It don't matter how pretty, how much, none of that. She young. She could have a brand new Range Rover. Cause them little rich girls, they be pretty too. I ain't no telling where she from. She from Cornell. She could be from anywhere in the world. You feel that? Anywhere. And you know, she rich too. Like, she act like Cornell, bro. Like, but she too young. I need a woman, man. And she a woman. I'm not going to judge her by, oh, she 27. But I might, you might match with her better than I might match with a girl who 45 or a girl who 51. I might not. I done seen some 51-year. I knew this 51-year-old that I worked with before. I was talking about mad crush. I knew one. I think she was older than that. She was like 55, and she was like my manager. She was a black woman too. I'm talking about, boy, real bad. See what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna think like, I'm not gonna look like what, like whatever she is. I'm gonna see her for what she is, and it's beyond her physical beauty. It's her inner beauty too, her soul. The way how she talk, how she walk, how she treat people, how she treat me. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Smiley said, y'all, as y'all come in the stream, if y'all do anything, show a brother some love, man. Hit the like button, the subscribe, the notification bell. If you guys want any talk about anything at all, y'all drop it below in the stream. Open chat right now, guys. If y'all want to donate to the channel, give a gift, any of the sort, hit the button with the $sign in it. And your donations are much appreciated. What we doing this morning, chat? What we got going on? Jerry said, keep crying, boy. I ain't never cried. I have cried before. I just told a lie like that. You see what I'm saying? I lie too sometimes, but I'm going to correct myself immediately. You just witnessed it. I have cried before, bro, but I ain't crying right now. I guarantee you that. I am suing, though. I'm filing lawsuits. Listen, this is how I do it, bro. You guys don't know this legal war is live, so I talk about this sometimes just randomly. That's why I started a live stream, being involved in these legal conflicts with these clowns. People try to challenge me. Look, this is how I do it. I'm a cool dude, man, really. And I want to let everybody make it. You know what I'm saying? But you can't enforce the law by letting people make it. And I just feel like that's my calling. I started a business, Ameliorate Legal. You guys know the story. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do. I enforce the law. So, like, what I do is if they get me mad, I'll make a promise. Like I promised to God that I will sue you. And when I promise to God that I sue you, I'm going to stand on that. I listen. Hey, listen, I ain't hate. It's like a family member, somebody I'm really cool with, though. But it's like I promised that if they made a certain move, that I would have to sue them. And they made the move, and I had to sue them. If I make that promise to God that I'm going to sue you, then you going to get sued. Look, I might sue you. It's like shooting at somebody that you don't want to kill. So I might shoot at the wall. You feel that? I might shoot like over your head. I might, for real. That's how I get down. But I made that promise that I gotta file that lawsuit. You done made me mad, and I done promised to God. So because I made that promise to God, it's not that I want to sue you no more. I done forgot. If you leave me alone, I'm gonna forget about it. Real talk. I ain't trying to get no, like, if I didn't have no cases, that'd be something different. If I was headhunting, if it was bloody season. But I'm saying I got cases. I'm in the middle of litigation. I'm trying to open stuff like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to open 3 cases. Get 3 cases popping. Like, I ain't studying you. Really, real talk. I got another case to file that's in the folder. I ain't studying you. I got more problems and situations going on than to be worried about you. But if I promise to God that you was going to get that lick, you got to get it. You can ask one of my family members. I filed a lawsuit like the 3rd day of January. And I turned all the way around and walked off. You can ask my mama too. Both my family members, they know. I turned around and walked off from the lawsuit. I wasn't even studying it. I made a promise to God that I was going to file that lawsuit. I ended up litigating in the case, but I ain't never really count the case in really my cases until it got settled. Because I'm not even studying it. And you know what I'm saying? I got a case like that right now. I made that promise, man. So I'm saying I'm going to fulfill that promise. I'll shoot I'll shoot over there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying. If you play the game a certain way, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing happened with me, bro. I got a sticker from the New York State Trooper. Same thing. Same opportunity. I made an error and I broke the law. And he put handcuffs on me. And then he shot at the wall. And I walked away from it unscathed. I'm talking about no bullets or nothing. He shot at the wall. But I'm saying, like, for him shooting at the wall, it's like you owe him now. You can't do nothing else. That's what I'm saying. So, like, if I made that promise, you gotta enforce the law. The law is the law. You gotta enforce it. He gotta enforce the law. He don't have no choice. This dude sitting in the front. When the state trooper pulled up, the dude sitting in the front seat with the state trooper, man. It's a full-grown man. This is the BMW right now. This is the state trooper car. And the man who I punched in the face, he's sitting right here next to the state trooper in the front seat. So I'm saying the state trooper in that situation, the man got blood on his face. He got to put handcuffs on me because that's the law. He got to obey the rules. But I'm saying when I explain him the situation, he know what's going on. He know the right thing to do, you know. For these purposes, I'm going to shoot at the wall. I'm going to let you out. But, you know, that come with a set of circumstances for that to hold up. It's the same thing. I'll do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Once it's get to a point to where after I didn't let that word. See, in civil law is different than criminal law. Both of the laws are written down, but in civil law, usually it requires for me to be able to get liability or for me to prove that you violated my civil rights or did something against me, violated the American with Disabilities Act. I usually have to give you some kind of warning or some kind of acknowledgement of me having especially me having an unseen disability, me having a disability, or you doing some sort of making harassing content that I don't like or is inappropriate to me, improper to me. So I'm saying I usually have to let you know that. And then once I let you know that, then it's like free range for me to file a lawsuit on you. If the behavior continues that I'm complaining about. It's like that in other places and ways across the law. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying that's how I get down, though, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a litigator at Miller Ray Legal, LLC. and I will sue you in a heart. For real, man. Got to. You said careful what you promising to do, man. I have to. I know that's what I got to do. I got to be careful. But it's like this. What else you supposed to do? Who said that? Gary said you are lost, bro. See, I was finna pin your comment, but when I read that you said that, nah, bro, I can't pin your comment. You tweaking, man. You tweaking. I'm gonna show you how you tweaking, bro. You look, you see in the channel, you see, and look, I think it was David. He texted me the other day, man. I got your text message. Hey, David, you on the live stream right now, my brother? Smiley, you are human. Where you at, Smiley, you human? I got your text message, my boy. You hear me? Smiley, you human? I'm going to hit you up. Hello, Smiley, you human? Let me see. I'm going to remove you as a standard moderator, and Smiley, human, we going to make you a managing moderator. And I got you, Smiley, you human. And I appreciate you reaching out. And I definitely will be responding to your email really, really soon. But I just want to show you guys I'll forever be putting this in a live stream. I mean, I don't see how you guys don't have it. Y'all should have this copied and pasted somewhere. So y'all see Miller Ray Legal. You see what I'm saying? That's my other YouTube page. And y'all see that Miller Ray Legal, and y'all just think that it's like, you know what I'm saying, my YouTube page, but that's really official business. It's my 4th year. I put my Gmail down there in case you guys want to get in touch with me like Smiley, You're Human did. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to reach out, and I definitely will be responding to you guys. Definitely, definitely, definitely. All right, guys, what we got? Gary, all right, then. He said, read the King James Bible, people, man. Like, I appreciate that, sir. Appreciate your opinion. Y'all hit the link, though, man. Go check out my business, man. You know what I'm saying? A Miller Ray Legal LLC. Live and official from NYC. Your boy Big Ghostwriter, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do that Tax the Rich tour real soon, man. Y'all get them Ghostwriter shirts, them black shirts with the white ghosts on the front of it, man. Yeah, Big Ghostwriter, man. I ain't ghostwriting no raps or no rhymes. Y'all tell academics, man, they be trying to make me a rapper. Like I'm 25. The oldest I go back, man, to when I used to live, man, is like when I was in my 30s. So I'm 45, so I remember my 30s clear. I remember, like, whenever I first made a profession of faith, I remember, like, what led me to that at 31. Like, I remember the progression and how I fell off and then how I got saved. And them 8 years since I've been saved, I remember that. Like, my 20s, I remember that in sketches. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you tell me a situation, I remember it happening when I was in my 20s. But I'm saying, like, talk to me really about, if you want to go to my past, about what I did in my 30s, because I've been a Christian since 2018. So you can't talk to me about nothing I did since 2018. Since 2018, boy, I've been letting my light shine. You could tell me that like I vape. Read the King James Bible. What's in the King James Bible about vaping? You see what I'm saying? You could tell me that I cuss. Or you could tell me that I listen to rap music. Come on, man. There ain't none of that in the Bible. Or if it is, it's like lightly mentioned. You like reveling, backbiting. You talking about you want me to give you scriptures? Perfect. Yeah, I just want to show y'all something real quick. Do y'all know what the word reveling mean? First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to define what the word reveling mean. What does the word reveling mean? Does anyone know what the word reveling mean? What does it mean? Reveling. Reveling. What does reveling mean? In the Bible. In the Bible, revelings refer to wild, noisy, and immoral party, the work of the flesh, so let's go get the scripture. Scriptures. Do not slander one another. Do you know? This is scripture now. Do y'all know what slandering means? Hold on. Whispers, backbiters, backbiting tongue, whispers separate close friends, Proverbs 16, Proverbs 25, Psalm 15, Romans 1:29, James 4:11, Proverbs 26:20. Bro, that's scriptures and everything. I could give you scriptures for days, bro. What I'm talking about. Backbiters. Whisperers, gossipers. For real, man. Like people always starting stuff, man. Like they messy and stuff, man. Yeah, it's people like you. It's scriptures about you all throughout the Old Testament. The kind of spirit you have, you know what I'm saying? That spirit of, you know what I'm saying? Man, I'll see, really, we ain't got too much more going on in the chat, man. Y'all got to come on with something in the chat, man. You feel me? Everybody just dead, man. It's What's up, David? Don't curse your own seed or your own name or curse yourself like that part of the Bible. But they don't understand that, though, David. Or it's like, listen, it's like some people, man, it's like they understand certain stuff, but it's like they're gonna do it the way they're gonna do it. They might understand that it's not right, just like I might understand that vaping is really not right, but it's like I must do it anyway because I made some kind of self-justification for it in my mind. It's like they doing something. It might not be like vaping or nothing like that, but it's like that affects other people. They might look at it in their mind, they got a justification for it like it's right, but it's really not something they should be doing. Just like maybe like I should not be vaping. You see what I'm saying? That's just factuals. And I mean, it's just a different, it's just a different perspectives, I would say, on a situation. For sure. Usually, whenever I have my disagreements with people, it's usually people who are different ages than me. And it's not usually people that's younger than you. Usually people younger than me, they'll usually see it the way I'm saying it, or once I get to explain it. But it's like the older people, you know what I'm saying, that they usually, you know, it's usually an age thing that, you know, in America, it's usually not a racial thing. You'll see a lot of people, different races, you know, within the same movement or culture thing in America, because we're just a melting pot. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's just how I feel and what I think. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Though that backbiting, though, man, that's real big, man. Like, people don't know what backbiting is, man. You know what I'm saying? Real talk, though. And slander. Backbiting and slander. Backbiting definition. Speaking spiteful, unkindly, or maliciously about someone who is not present, often to damage their reputation or hinder their professional success. Gossip, defamation, or slander. What's the word for slander? Because the Bible says slander too. What's the definition of slander? That's what I'm talking about. Always talking bad about someone, putting someone down. False spoken statement that damages a person's reputation. And I've been suing for slander. My boy David. You feel me? I've been suing him for slander, dog. Real talk. They've been slandering me, man. And when I catch them slandering me, man, that's what I'm saying. I got a lawsuit down there finna sue this girl for slander. Lying to the police on me, man. I had people lie to the police on me several times. Straight lying to the police. I had a dude lie to the police. He did it on the body camera. Why he was committing a violation or a misdemeanor, depending on what jurisdiction you in, what they call it. And why he committing listen, this dude, he's standing in the middle of traffic. He obstructing traffic. And while he obstructing traffic, he picks up the phone and he called the police on me. So when the police get there, he admits to the police that he was standing in the middle of the road obstructing traffic. He admits that he was, and listen, he had a baby and a girl with him. Like, that boy, he needed a violation. He needed a ticket. Malicious slander, man. And people, like, they don't think that's wrong. Even though, see, that's a scripture in the Bible. That's what I'm saying, like that vaping thing. Like, I might justify vaping, like, it ain't clear in the Bible. I'm saying the word vaping ain't none of that in the Bible. Taking smoke out your nostrils make no reference to the way we smoke today. Take smoke in our nostrils. What I'm saying is, it's clear in the Bible about slander and backbiting. In multiple places, I read you the scriptures. Somebody said I can't quote the scripture. You can't quote the scriptures that it was in. You can't quote the scriptures. I bet you don't know none of them scriptures that it was in. And I'm telling you about all that slandering that you're doing in the Bible. Proverbs 10 and verse 18. Lying lips utter slanders of fool. Proverbs 101 and verse 5. Slanders his neighbor. Leviticus 19:16. Spreading slander among the people. Ephesians 4:31. Slander be put away. Proverbs 11:13. Slandering, revel secrets. James 4:11. Slander one another. You talking about giving you the scriptures? I gave you plenty of scriptures talk about what I'm talking about. Going around slandering, talking smack. I'm talking about from place to place, starting stuff. And you got an excuse for doing it, and it's dead wrong. David, I'm suing people for doing this. I'm talking about they follow, watch me go around from place to place, slandering my name, starting stuff. Putting other people, other businesses in the middle of some beef that ain't got nothing to do with them. And I'm finna sue them. That's what I do. I sue people. I sue stupidity. I sue ignorance. Ignorant people who got a lot of money. They got too much money than what they supposed to have. See, I'm on that underbelly, man. Like I'm down in that gutter, that grimy stuff. So like I revel in the mud and the dirt, bro. That's when you can ask my pops. That's when I do best, whenever I'm down, when I'm in the mud. That's when you get the hungriest. That's whenever I get all my lawsuits. That's when I get grimy on you, get cutthroat. That's when I come alive. That's when you get 50% of effort out of me, bro. Whenever I gotta get in survival mode, I'll sue the snot out of you. In each individual lawsuit, I'm gonna give you enough effort to get the job done. I'm not gonna overwork in something that I might have to do work on the appeals court, stupid. I ain't got no paralegal and no lawyer above me or no assistant or no intake person. I do all of that myself. The link down below in the bio. In the chat, baby, pen. You feel that? So I'm saying, but like as far as me like doing listen, I started July the 7th of 2022. That's when, if you look down below, that's when my business incorporated. 23, 24, 25. So July 7th of this year will be officially 4 years. If you take, it's March, April, May, June, July. So you say it's been 4 years, 44 months. So 44 months, if you take off, I didn't start filing lawsuits July. I didn't file my first lawsuit until it was like November of 2022. So July, August, September, October, November. So you take off 4 more months, so that's 36 months. So in 36 months, from November 2022, when I filed my first case, to March of 2026, present day time, 36-month period, 14 months I didn't file a case. So you take off 14 months. So now, 36 from 14, you left 22 months. Within 22 months of me being active filing cases, I filed 28 cases now in 22 months of being active filing cases. Like the production of the case, like bro, like if it's just launching a case, if I did this before in Houston, I got about 5 racks for it. I should have got 12,000. That's what, on contract with the lawyer, but they juked me though. Out of 7,000, I didn't complain about it. Because what I'm finna tell you, I was supposed to get 12,000 for this. I launched the case, bro. I just filed the case. You know what I'm saying? I get the jurisdiction. You know, everything it takes to file that lawsuit. That argument, the liability, the service, everything. I just launched the case. I get the case, and I get the case filed, and I file the case, and I walk off. 12 racks. File a case, 12 racks. But think about that. If all I have to do is file a case and I could get 12 racks, I mean on the spot. Dude, I'll file 2 cases a month from Bali. 2 cases a month. Bro, I signed a contract with an attorney in Houston to get paid 12 racks to file. All I did was the documents to file it in court. Bam. I only got paid 5 racks. But still, if I could do that twice a month, that's 10 racks. A month. You did that. So that was like the vision for Miller Legal for what I'm doing. But like, I got to litigate the whole case. I don't get paid no 12 racks for when I drop the case. I got to litigate a whole case. So if I get 12 racks out of that, it's really like they got out on me. Because the attorney, for him getting on his 33% on the case, he going to get at least 30, 40 racks. If he going to spend that much time litigating the case, he got to get at least 30, 40. So I'm saying if I'm selling for $14,000, you already win it. Because that's a little bit of money. But me being a paralegal and not having no attorney to pay or not having no intake person to pay or no other paralegal, nobody to pay but myself, 14 racks for 2 or 3 months worth of, I'll say about 20 to 30 hours of work, 14 racks is not a bad deal for me, for anybody. Because the case is active, but I'm not sitting here doing work on the case constantly. I'm only doing work whenever certain periods of the case when you got to go to a computer and deliver information back. That's the only time you're working. But I am doing work. Don't get it twisted. Because you have to say the attorney not doing work because I'm litigating the case with him just like he litigating all his other cases. And I have other cases I'm litigating. It's just that he got paralegals, he got intake people, he got other lawyers. He's litigating in one jurisdiction, stable with a law office. I don't have none of that stuff. See what I'm saying? So it's different for me. Guys, David, I'm still on here. It's been over 3 hours, you know what I'm saying? Legal wars. They don't want to talk about the legal wars, but that's like the business for real. You know what I'm saying? That's how I started it, man. Legal wars live, man. Real talk. It started off me winning appeals in the U.S. Court of Appeals. Nah, it's not 40K. I'm not making a statement on live on the amount. David, it's a lot. I know it is a lot. It's a lot if I'm able to pull that off. But my business will have to be popping for me to be able to do that. But like that was the business model. Look, I went to an attorney in Houston. I had a case. It was my case. My daddy brought it to me. I'm gonna just be real. My daddy brought me the case. Dude was like, I did the original document, the original complaint. We amended it one time. We found it in Harris County. Bam. I had signed a contract. I went to the lawyer. Here, bam, here's the case. It's $1 million case. 12 racks. He said, bet. You see what I'm saying? So I'm supposed to get paid 12 racks. I ain't got to touch the case no more. That's what I'm saying. I'm a document preparer, paralegal. Linking down below in the chat. Miller Legal LLC. That's what I do. I deliver legal documents. So like me, that's the hardest part of the case. Like me doing the investigation, me getting the facts, the police reports, the medical bills. You see what I'm saying? He had all of that there already. But I'm saying then me actually composing the legal document with the laws, the statutes, you see what I'm saying? The amount we asking for, you know what I'm saying? Just filing the case in court. The attorney, he still got work to do, but he's going to settle it before he go to trial because they guilty. I know that. The attorney know that. I'm very good at arguing. So I put that document, to give it to the client, he put it to the court. I signed a deal with him, and then when the attorney comes, then the attorney's going to sign a deal with him. So my contract ain't with him no more. My contract's with the attorney. Now the attorney owe me 12 racks on this case. How my business supposed to work, he's supposed to pay that 12 racks right then. So I'm saying, guys, y'all see me filing cases. I show y'all cases all the time. I file cases all the time. Y'all know this. Like this appeal in the U.S. Court of Appeals, this is a real appeal. Like I know this folder, this appeal, you got to do blue folder appeal. It's a real appeal in the U.S. Court of Appeals, a real appeal. That got sent back, limited, that I won. A real appeal. Like I'm saying, if I could, look, I'm going to show you guys, look. This one legal document. Just show you the table of contents, man. You know what I'm saying? Like if I prepared this document for somebody, like, man, I'm finna charge you probably about 30 racks. It might take me 2 or 3 days to do the document, 30 racks, and I'm gonna walk off. I need the cash money. That's my business model. Like if I had the right, so listen, say if I went and, like if I had a plan, I'll go to Homeland Security, I'll try to get a grant. You see what I'm saying? And I would build my business name by like helping the community. You know what I'm saying? Providing free legal services to the community. You know what I'm saying? As much as the law allows me paralegal, I know specific things that I can help them with. You know what I'm saying? So after that, like my next step or my next phase would be to actually build my business. So like I would probably need a cool few $100,000 or $100,000 at least to promote my business correctly to the law firms, because I would get contracts. So I'm needing at least 4 or 5 contracts to start. And basically the law firm would give me a case to do the documents for, and I would file the case in court with. Either that or I'll bring them the client. So that would be my system. I would do the case for the lawyer. He'd give me the case to do. And he probably, if he giving me the case, like instead of charging $12,000, I'll probably do it for $8,000 because he's giving me the case. Maybe $7,500. But I'm saying if I'm bringing the case to him, then I want $12,000 for filing a regular complaint. And I'll do the document and I'll walk off. Filing in court, the lawyer take the case and I'm out. I'm looking for the next $12,000. I'm saying I'll file 2 cases a month. That's $25,000 a month. Perfect business model. If you give me $250,000, I guarantee you I'll build $25,000 a month with this business. Easily. Very little effort. All I need is 2 customers a month. If you give me a contract with 5 law firms, that'll give me 12 customers a month. All I need is 12 customers. 5 law firms, you give me 1 contract, that's 12 customers. That's all they need to provide. So that means each law firm will have to provide 2 customers on the contract over a course of 12 months. Any law firm would agree, especially law firms that are too over busy. If you got the money to spend, you could get to promote that, like, or to lobby that. You could get any law firm in those contracts. You just need the money to be able to do it. I know how to do that. I get 5 contracts. That'd be 12 customers. So that'd be at least 12,000 each customer. That the law. Or 8,000 the lawsuits they're bringing. So 8 times 12, that's 96,000 I would make, guaranteed. And then I would provide 12. I have to find 12 customers. That'd be my hustle. But every lawsuit I bring would be 12,000. So my goal would be 1 a month. Look at me right now. I'm writing 1 a month, or more than that. Since July the 15th of 2025. When I left, Ron was ghostwriter after We the People, me on this trip. Since then, I wrote 1, 2, because I closed 2 lawsuits. I got 3 right now, and I just wrote 1. So that's 6 lawsuits since July. Well, I filed a lawsuit. The first lawsuit that I filed, I think I filed that, probably July. I mean, when I left my home, that's why I call this a journey of justice. I started filing lawsuits as soon as I left home. And I'm to 6 right now, 6 whole cases. July, that's August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 6 whole cases in 8 months. And I closed 2 of them. And I got 1 here to file, so that's really 7. And I got 1 on the computer, so that's really 8. 8 months, that's like a case a month. That's what I'm doing on my own. So I'm saying I know, like, if I was out there, like, with my business, with a business loan to do the promotion, I believe I could get a case a month. And that'd be $12,000 with the contract with the lawyers. So I'll provide a case and they'll provide me a case. Or 2 cases. They'll provide me 2 cases, I'll provide them a case. Dude, I'm saying a perfect business. I can $25,000 effortlessly. And it'll make the lawyers money. What really will happen is the lawyers will end up giving me more than 2 cases. Because I'm saying I will get good and I will do the documents according to how they want the documents done. And I will get really, really good at doing it. And they will be giving me cases all the time. More cases than I can handle. Because I will only try to make a certain amount of money. That's why I set it up like that. Real talk. Somebody said they could make me a millionaire. David, if you could make me a millionaire, you gotta talk to me. Come talk to me. Y'all feel me? Come talk to me. How y'all can start off helping your boy Ghostwriter right now, man. Y'all can hit that button with that $sign in it. You know what I'm saying? You could become a channel member, man. You know what I'm saying? You can hit the button with the $sign. Become a channel member, you know what I'm saying? For sure. Y'all got games that you could stream with. I didn't even know that you could do that, man. What's this here? Pin to a live stream. Products do we want to tag, y'all? Let me see if we could pin something to a live stream to tag. See what we could tag to the live stream. I ain't never done this before, but though. Y'all, these Nike men low mesh sneakers. I don't know what size you wear. They want me to pick a size. I don't know what kind of size y'all wear. I'm going to tag these 10.5s, though. I ain't never done this before, but I'm going to do this right now, y'all. I'm going to try this because I need to start trying to do this. Did that even show up, y'all? I need to pin this. Is it pinned? Can you see it? What's up? I'm trying to see how I could promote these products on the live stream. Y'all see that? I don't see it nowhere, man, but I'm trying to pin. Shoot, you feel me, man? Let me see if I can see it on this phone, man. Yeah, I'm trying to pin a product on the live stream, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to promote some Nikes, man. They say you get a 25% commission off of it. What? There they go. Y'all see them Nikes, big low sneakers up there for $95, man. I'm going to start doing this. You know what I'm saying? When I live stream, man, you know what I'm saying? I need one of y'all to buy one of them pair of Nikes, man. You know what I'm saying? I need one of y'all to buy one of them pair of Nikes, man. Get that 25% commission. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start doing that when I live stream, man. David, if you need a pair of sneakers, you see them on the screen, man. Got some clean Nikes up there, man. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like, while I'm doing the stream, like, giving y'all content, like, you know, start the content, I'll start the content with them Nikes, you know? Or whatever kind of product, I just put Nike in there. We could promote any kind of product that I think the viewers will want to buy, and I'll get 25% commission if somebody buys a pair of those Nikes. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty straight, though. It's a $95 pair of shoes. So if somebody buys a pair of those Nikes, I get $20. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to probably, but if you hit miss, you know what I'm saying? You promoting the right products, pick up a couple of extra dollars. You know what I'm saying? Got those tax to rich tours coming. Man, you know what I'm saying? Trying to pick up a little extra cheese off the YouTube channel. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. If you guys haven't liked the video, y'all double tap the screen. 3 hours and 18 minutes. What y'all want to talk about? Politics, anything. I've been on here live streaming for y'all on this Monday morning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Hunter, please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, my brother, subscribe to the channel. We need those subscriptions. We trying to get to that 11,000 quickly. How long y'all think it's going to take us to get to 20,000 subscribers? Man, it's going to take us forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I started with 1,500, like when we cranked up the politics on the channel in 2024, right? And like September 2024, so about a year and a half, got about 9,000 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? So we trying to get 20,000 subscribers at least, right, by 2027? I don't even know, man. You know what I'm saying? So please subscribe to the channel if you have not, man. Just on here kicking it, man. Trying to get down with the chat, man. If we ain't got nothing else, I'm going to close it out here in just a second, man. You know what I'm saying, David? If you ain't got any more thoughts. Yeah, I have to, I pretty much, what I do is I just pay Google for promotion, man. You know what I'm saying? I just pay for advertising. So it's just whenever my budget allows me to pay for the advertising, then I do. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got in situations, man, I had to file lawsuits. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing. Like, even while I'm out here on this journey, you know what I'm saying, trying to turn it positive, recording content, we the people, you know what I'm saying, and then, like, doing the cruising with Ghostwriter. You know what I'm saying? I'm not spending no money doing this. Like, any moves that I'm going to make in my personal life, I'm going to make them moves without spending no money doing this, besides the money that I would spend in advertising, which I'm making more than that from YouTube. So it's not much money that I'm spending in advertising. And that's really being paid for by YouTube. You see what I'm saying? So I'm really doing it for, you know what I'm saying, a couple of dollars for free. You know? But I'm saying I'm not spending any money doing it. It's just the choices in my life, this business. And I've said it the whole time. That's why I never started these YouTubers, these live streamers, these podcasters. They have a business for them, like content creators or journalists or whatever they're doing, vloggers or bloggers. What I'm saying is my business is Ameliorated Legal LLC. I pinned it down below in the chat. You know what I'm saying? That's my business. Y'all click on that link. That's my business. You know what I'm saying? That's my business. Like, I file lawsuits. Like, Legal Wars Live is, I claim this income for Ameliorated Legal on my taxes. You know what I'm saying? Be a few $1,000s a year. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you know, I do a case, one case. I did a case, I filed one document, and I made that few $1,000s. I should have got about 4,000 off of one document. 4 racks off of one document. I'm saying you get more money than that. You know what I'm saying? I done got 7 racks off of one document. I done got like, about 10,000 out about 3 documents. Real talk. And I really supposed to get more than that. But I'm saying, like, I ain't even a lawyer. And I filed that case and I closed that case quick, get paid. I done done that so many times efficiently. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, man, if I ever get to a spot where I'm going, I got a really good business model, man. I'll be straight, man. I get my cases. I just got to link up with some attorneys. You know what I'm saying? Right situation, right time, when I'm in the right place to make the right moves. You know what I'm saying? Until then, I'm going to just grind it out how I'm grinding it out. You know what I'm saying? It's just unfortunate, like, while I was dealing with the first situation, other situations popping up, but it's just the business. For me, it's just business as usual, because I'm telling you, I filed cases. I'm going to sue you, man. That's what I do, man. I sue people, man. I file lawsuits, man. That should be well known, or if not well known, definitely well established right now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, no, we just in here cooling, man. We just in here chilling, man. You said what we should do about Iran, man. I already told y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? We just need to get out that war. With Iran, bro, we need to get out that war. That's what we need to do. Point blank, period. Bottom line. It's time. Oh, nah, man. Just like whoever needs to face justice. Random people, corporations, municipalities, principalities. That's facts, though. Whoever needs justice. You know what I'm saying? And as far as Iran, I was just saying we need to get out that war in Iran, man. That's what I say. I say you accomplished the military objectives. Victory for now. We got to come back. But for right now, we need to come home. All right, what's your idea for me, bro? Nah, I don't sue the marshals, man. The marshals, they good people, man. They good dudes. I love marshals, man. Yeah, but the marshals, they good peoples, man. I love marshals. I'm trying to see what Astra talking about. You know what I'm saying? Astra, what we talking about? Astra. You must be a bot. Astra, you AI? You artificial? Hey, if you got intelligence, if you artificial, it's not real intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Because this intelligence you encounter right here, it's nothing artificial about this intelligence. You know how they say AI is like smarter or more advanced than a certain percentage of humans? A certain percentage of humans. We had bots in the chat, y'all. You feel what I'm saying? Either a bot or somebody scary. Y'all, man, it's right at 3.5 hours we've been streaming. I'm trailing off, man. You know what I'm saying? Up in here, man, we ain't really got too much going on, David. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to close it out. On this Monday, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm just really be chilling. There go Astra. You in the trap. Man, like what? How old you are though, man? How old you are though, Astra? You about 25, 26. Bro, I read what you typed. You said you at home playing a video game in your mama's basement. I asked her. You said you at home playing a video game in your mama's basement. No judgment. Real talk. Asher, No judgment. You said you at home in your mama house playing a video game in the basement. That's what you said. Oh yeah, that's fine. And I'm responding to your idea. What's your idea? You know, I got an idea. I got an idea that you playing a video game right now in your mama basement, man. At home in your mama basement. Prove to me that you don't live with your mama. You know what I'm saying? That's my response to your idea, Astra. No judgment. Prove to me you don't live with your mama. Hey, Astra. Algorithms are a nice snack in the morning. Hey, Astra, prove to me you don't live with your mama. Bro, listen, you ain't read. I said you had a lawsuit against the government. You ain't read because you drunk. Bro, listen, prove to me you don't live at home with your mama, though. You ain't read because I'm drunk. You know how many comments be coming into the stream. You ain't gonna read every comment. Some comments you trying to skip over because they be so stupid or rude, and then the other comments you just might not catch. Like I'm sitting here talking, I might not catch every single comment that you put in the stream. I'm trying to read as many of them as I can, bro. I'm saying, who else on the live stream, bro, gonna sit there and read your comments anyway without you donating or putting on no money? The only person put up some money today is Red G. He been here since day one. The day one people will pop in, they'll say a couple of words, and they'll donate, and they'll get on down. The rest of y'all just in the live stream, bro, just burning up all the time and ain't giving $1. And you want me to read every comment you say like we having a one-on-one conversation, bro. And this and I ain't donating one red penny. It's unbelievable. I give you a voice. I'm gonna read your comment. You're not gonna dictate me though and make me read all your comments. If you donate, then you get all your comments read. You feel what I'm saying? That ain't no hate on you. It's all love, though, on my channel, though. David, tell him, though. Astra, I appreciate you coming. I hope you hit the subscribe button. That being said, y'all, 3.5 hours, man, on Monday. You know what I'm saying? The Strait of Hormuz. We talked about it, the Strait of Terror. I'm not for the United States or President Trump attempting to retake the strait or get power. I don't think the American military will be able to safely escort ships because the ships are going to be scared. It's like President Trump said, at any time, any place, you could launch a drone, you could launch a missile, you could launch a rocket, or, you know what I'm saying, drop some mines in the sea, you know what I'm saying? So knowing the dangers in doing that, I don't know why that should be an objective, because if we're not able to continually to safely escort ships with the multinational coalition when the nations are saying no, and on top of that, you know what I'm saying, you got to get these merchants, these people, because listen, even if you escorting the ships, and say you escorting the ships with the American Navy, and say you got the South Korean Navy with you, and I'm saying you got 2 battleships escorting these ships, they could shoot back, but I'm saying them drones coming, and I'm saying it's just a dangerous situation, and the businesses might not be willing to risk that. You see what I'm saying? So it might not stop the gas prices from going up. It's right off the coast of Iran. I don't know. I think the best way that you deal with that situation is with diplomacy. I think with diplomacy, that's how you know what I'm saying, get a deal that's better than President Obama's deal, you know what I'm saying, and bring that war to an end. When the bullets stopped, just like before the ship started passing through the strait, there wasn't no bullets, you didn't have no problems. When the bullets stopped, slowly but surely, I believe the problems are going to stop too. Common sense ain't that common. That being said, David, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Grim? Like I tell you guys that I'm a born again Christian, man. I believe that Christ is King. I believe Jesus suffered, bled, and died on the cross for my sins. The blood that Jesus paid on the cross is the payment for my sins. It washes away my sins. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe you could just pray and accept Jesus. You can ask Jesus for forgiveness of your sins. And that's how you become a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. People believe different things. I just don't believe that I'm better than anyone. I believe I made a lot of mistakes, but I believe that Jesus died for those mistakes. And accepting that death, his sacrifice for the payment of your sins, I believe that's what makes me whole. It makes me a Christian. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, man, like I wake up every single day, man. You know, the first thing I say is, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Man, that's 3 hours and 33 minutes. He said he needs to brief the U.S. Navy staff. Yeah, I just don't think it's a good situation overall. I just don't think it's a good situation. You know what I'm saying? If you accomplish all of your military objectives, I think that should be game over. That's just what I think. I think you should announce game over. I mean, that's why he's saying he won. Because he's saying that what militarily, the targets that we can hit, that's what he's really saying. Whether he's saying infrastructure, whatever he's saying, he's talking about the targets that they can hit from them F-22s and them F-35s. He said we hit all the targets. They could come up with more targets. Israel has more targets. I'm saying militarily, your original objectives, you accomplished them. You can say you won. Like, that's not propaganda. You really did that. But I'm saying, like, to me, the Strait of Hormuz, you're not gonna, like, and that's something new. And that's what, like, prolonged war. Three weeks, this the end of the third week. At the end of this week, 21 days. Anything over 21 days, I can't support it because I just know where it's headed. Just watch what I say, though. He say I'm high, he say I'm drunk, like I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, then. I've been hearing this for so long. I'm high and I'm drunk while I'm writing this lawsuit that I'm going to shoot the snot out you, making. For real. For real, though. You know what I'm saying? When you say I'm high and I'm drunk, as long as I'm not grabbing you by your throat, I think I'm winning, right? At least. Hey, as long as I ain't punching you in your eye, I'm winning, right? I could be high and drunk, but I'm not punching you in your eye. So as long as you ain't getting punched in your throat, then I feel like I'm winning, y'all. But yeah, man, that's it, man. Y'all, I'm finna get out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna go grab me some food. I love all y'all, man. I appreciate y'all checking in with your boy, Big Ghostwriter. I'll see y'all in the morning about 7:15 a.m. Eastern. Lord willing, y'all be safe. It's raining out here. Bad weather out there, man. I'll see y'all later, man. I'm out.